funding, procuring, and advocating. You can go to covenantrescue.org for further details. They need your donations, guys. Hop on and donate.
A groundbreaking ceremony was held this past Tuesday by Jacksonville State University officials for the upcoming Randy Owens Center for Performing Arts. The construction project will cost about $41 million and is being funded by various grants and donations. It's being dedicated to Jack State alumni Randy Owens. Owens is the founding member and lead singer of the band Alabama. Owens was on hand for this groundbreaking ceremony. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
What the hell are we doing here?
We are behaving the way a superpower ought to behave.
Well, our behavior has produced some crappy results.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon, or as we're calling this online, Joey Clark Live. You can always go to Joey Clark Live on YouTube, like and subscribe, or at the Joey Clark on Twitter, or some call it X. I call it both, I guess. Eddie Bader here in the studio. How you doing today, Eddie?
Doing well. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right. And, well, the latest news is that the parents called the police, the parents of the shooter, called the police 3 hours before the event, saying, we don't know where our son is, we're worried. Now, we don't know exactly what the parents said to the police, why they were worried. This isn't getting better.
No, it's not getting better at all.
And I'm going through a mix of emotions up and down to where I see stories like that and go, what the hell is going on here? And then I'll watch like the RNC and I'm like, oh, this is better than melatonin. Nikki Haley. Let her read me a lullaby to sleep. Anyway, to kick off the show, as is tradition on Wednesdays, we have the one and the only Jeff Poore here on the program. Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Hey, Joey. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for being on. Your just first blush reaction to the parents even called the police about their son, the shooter, missing on the day of.
I mean, I'm not surprised. On our AR-15 or whatever is missing too, by the way. You may want to be on the lookout, and nothing really comes of it. But this is the message that I think Republicans need to drive in these last two nights. You see how they almost took out Trump? This is not just a Secret Service isolated. This is how the federal government operates under Joe Biden's leadership. You need to make some wholesale changes here.
Yeah, and I thought the most powerful stuff at the RNC last night was more the personal side of things. You know, for all the senators that spoke last night, and including our own that spoke, Katie Britt speaking on Monday, I mean, they're most of them pretty straightforward political speeches. I thought the one person that stood out was Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And it's because I think she shared, here's the personal touch about the actual man, Donald Trump. And I would say what you just said and lean more into the personal and humanize him, because I don't think you're going to get a better moment to try to get that across to certain people in this country than right now.
But people say that every 4 years about the RNC, and they always do the same sing-songy sort of stuff. I mean, think back over the last, at least in your lifetime, Joey, like, name the most memorable moments at any of these conventions to you.
That's Clint Eastwood with the chair.
Yeah.
And was that like high soaring oratory? You know, like it's just I always come away from these things underwhelmed. I mean, they're great networking and social occasions, and they're an important part they are a formality. We know who the nominees are going to be by the time they get there, and this is their one chance to really talk to, well, not this year with the Democrats, but historically we have, and they don't make the most of it. They take, I've always thought this, they really take the path of least resistance on these conventions sometimes.
Yeah, and it really is uninspiring. I mean, there are a few moments, like there are a few folks that are actually good at giving speeches. I did find it very funny that, what was it, the governor of West Virginia had his bulldog up there with him.
Right.
I mean, they're little, humorous things, kind of down-home things like that. But in terms of actually using this opportunity where you have the national spotlight on you right after this assassination attempt, I think you're right, Jeff. They're dropping the ball here.
Yeah, well, I mean, and it kind of preface I would think about Obama and Obama was really kind of a game changer. And you're right, the Clint Eastwood moment is unforgettable. But if I'm the Republicans, I mean, you got the momentum here. Put the foot on the pedal, guys. Make the Democratic Party own that assassination attempt. I'm not saying today, I mean, they're already kind of doing that by saying Democrats use very lethal rhetoric and calling Trump Hitler and everything. But make them own it in the sense that this is the incompetency of government. And do you think this is isolated in just the Secret Service or Department of Homeland Security? No, it's probably in Treasury, it's probably in State, it's probably in Education, it's probably in all these other bureaucracies on down the line, because this is just a culture of a Biden-run government.
Well, and now that Peter Navarro, I think, was just released from a 4-month prison sentence, and I think he could be a powerful messenger about how they've been going after Trump and team with the DOJ. Like, weave this into that Donald Trump's great criminal act or sin was beating Hillary Clinton in 2016, and they've never forgiven him for it. That clip of Schumer sitting down with Rachel Maddow saying, oh, if you go after the CIA, they've, 7 ways from Sunday to get back at you. I think you play into this. They've never given this man the chance. To me, that is the most compelling argument, because I wasn't a Trump guy in 2016. I was very skeptical of him. And even I was like, okay, they really are going after this guy from day one. Mm-hmm. He struck me as more of a deal maker and kind of a brand artist, not like some crazy populist right-wing force that's going to lead to Hitler or something. But so I think if you just tell the story of the last several years and then say the punctuation is an assassination attempt, you're onto something here.
That's what you do. Peter Navarro speaks Thursday night, sometime in the middle of the prime time. You play those clips of like Andrea Mitchell, Rachel Maddow, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi about not getting on the wrong side of the intel community. You don't want to mess with the intel community. It's not wise to pick on the intel community. And then you run through all of this stuff, and you show them like this is what they do. It's the ends justify the means. These are people. This is the way they want to run this country. It's third world. Get these guys the hell out of Washington.
Here. Now, what do you think of the VP pick in J.D. Vance?
No, I don't. I mean, I'm kind of going either way on it. I was not really. I don't know. I wasn't really emotionally invested in this whole thing. But I think what it tells me, and you and I were talking about this earlier in my program, that Trump 2.0 is going to go more with his instincts, with his more like-minded sort of creatures, and not go with, hey, I want to be the guy who unifies everybody. Because if he wanted to do that he picked Marco Rubio, that would have been a gesture to the Rockefeller Republicans, the Country Club Republicans, the Blue Bloods, that he's extending an olive branch. But I think that he tried that in 16 or 17, and it just really didn't work for him. And I think now we elected Donald Trump. We didn't elect all these other people. You don't need to create some kind of coalition government. You need to just go with your brand.
Well, and it really is a different party now. I think there are a lot of still, say, snakes who are more establishment who put on a good face at these conventions. But MSNBC put out this graphic, I think, this morning, and folks are mocking it online, saying notable Republicans not attending the RNC. And I see in a picture of George W. Bush, Mike Pence, Mitt Romney, Liz Cheney, and Paul Ryan. And knowing the conservative world, like I think we both do, we're like, oh no, they're not there to have fun at the party.
Yeah, it's just that doesn't really work for them. I don't know. It's like these these brand-approved Republicans, the mainstream media, they don't understand those are not John Bolton or whatever. Those are not people who Republicans really are clamoring for. We've done that. We did that with George W. Bush. And they're never going to, but it doesn't really matter what they think, does it?
No, it doesn't. Thank God. And I haven't even covered that whole Morning Joe not being on the air story. I've ignored now Joy Reid. I think it's a good policy just to start to ignore these people. Their audiences are dwindling, and they're becoming more and more shrill by the day.
Well, what I can't figure out is just, I know they don't matter in the grand scheme. How much do they really matter to Democrat voters? How much is what Nicole Wallace, how much does what Chris Hayes, or any of these other people, Mika Brzezinski, Willie Geist, what they say, does that stuff move the needle, or is this just like programming for like milquetoast, wannabe elites, working their New York Times crossword puzzle, thinking they're in the know because they watch Morning Joe sort of programming? I mean, I don't know. MSNBC, is it really even in touch with the Democratic Party?
No, I think they are missing the boat on the populist energies within the Democratic Party. It brings me to the next thing I wanted to ask. A few days went without people calling for Biden to step down. I think there are now more and more folks saying that again. News came out today that Schumer called Biden personally saying to step down. Report I just saw as I sat here talking to you, Jeff, that Adam Schiff called Biden and saying, please withdraw. So it seems like the Democrats are back on the plot to get rid of Biden.
But it's not going to work. He has shown no willingness to go along with that. And I think if they try to oust him, I mean, they're playing with fire. I mean, you're gonna have a civil war at the DNC, and maybe that's the game here, Joey. You and I are saying, why aren't you more active? Why aren't you yelling up more about this and this and this? And the Republicans had the subdued, organized, functional RNC, and then the DNC is a war fight, brawls in the street, goes on and on. It's a national embarrassment, and that just furthers the candidacy, the likely presidency of Donald Trump.
And I'm trying to think of folks on the left who are in alternative media. I guess Crystal of Crystal and Sagar, I disagree with the woman, obviously, but she seems pretty straightforward and fair. But then when I think of folks like Cenk Younger of the Young Turks or my God, this worm of a human being, Destiny, and the response he's had in the last few days, essentially saying F the fireman who was killed. Like, I mean, I'm trying to find the people on the left who aren't part of that, say, establishment that actually can lead this part of the country to some sanity.
Well, it's a very emotional party. And Jay, this is like the theme. One thing I always talk about on my show, I think, when it comes to the Democratic Party politics, I mean, Jonah Goldberg, I think, said it. You could boil every policy discussion down to the individual versus the collective. And the collective don't look at the individual rights, individual liberties. None of that's important to them. But I think, like, we're all, like, searching for something spiritually greater than us. And for, like, the left, they put all of their, they go all in on, like, politics and government and politicians and these sort of authority figures. And they're the solution to your problems. Don't pray to your imaginary Jesus in the sky. Look toward Washington. And what I think that does is sort of leads you into this kind of emotional state. It's not a good way to go. I mean, it's like the DMV is your church, maybe. I don't know. But, like, think about, like, what kind of basket case emotional state putting your stock into government is going to lead you to. And I just think this is just a product of that. And it's just generation upon generation upon generation of looking to the government for the answer to all your problems.
Yeah, and the weirder it's become, the more about the cultural values it's become, and less about, say, pragmatic policy and foreign policy, yada, yada, yada. The weirder it's become. I've been even talking to Democrats here in Montgomery, and especially when I look at the black community, you know, Montgomery is essentially the epicenter of the origin story of the new progressive left with the civil rights movement. But even the civil rights movement we've gone from you know, you look at those marches from Selma, and these folks are suited and booted. They're dressed to the nines. They're standing up against, you know, the oppression here. But you go from Selma now to sex changes for kids. And, like, things have seemed to go off the rails even in their own universe.
Yeah, and then when they try to draw those comparisons, like there's a comparison to the plight of the LGBTQ people in this country versus back then. It shows like an intellectual like vapidness or something. But there's always going to be a group of people who are going to be angry at something. And sometimes I just wonder if this, like the phenomenon of those people you're talking about, Destiny or whatever, it's just they need an excuse to be angry. And for the last 10 years, it has been Republicans or whatever, and nothing's really changing. And you're just always going to have this group of chronic malcontents that we're going to have to deal with in this racket.
Yeah, and it's a matter of trying to get just sane people who don't just live online and live in the political world to, I think, take back the reins of the country. I always appreciate your time, Jeff. If folks want to check out what you're writing about, think about, talking about, how can they do so?
Twitter.com/Jeff_Poor.
Well, appreciate it as always. Talk again soon.
Thanks again, Joey.
Again, folks, Jeff Poor, always appreciate his time on the show. Yeah, no, some of the stuff online, it's not getting better.
Oh, by no means.
It's not getting better at all. And you have to wonder, if we could put on full tinfoil hat, because we now live in a world where, to 24 million people, Tucker Carlson, when he was still on Fox, says, I have it on good authority and great ironclad sources, the CIA killed JFK.
Yep.
And of course, Tucker and many others with huge followings saying, well, the logical conclusion they could take him out with a criminal pursuit.
Right.
They can't take him out normal politics. What's the logical conclusion? Assassination.
It just kept escalating it.
And now, as we're how many days from Saturday? We're on Wednesday already? Yep. And the story just keeps getting weirder. And I think it is a good rule of thumb. Never attribute to malice what you can attribute to incompetence, to stupidity. But there is a line that gets crossed. When you cross over, you're so incompetent, you're so negligent, that people are going to start to suspect you did this on purpose.
Yeah.
You're a saboteur. And the more explanation that comes out, we're now on Wednesday, just a few days later, it's not getting better.
No.
Again, the parents of the shooter said their son was missing and they were worried. 3 hours before the event. There were multiple counter sniper teams that could have clearly seen this guy. It just doesn't add up.
No, it doesn't add up at all. But I'm thinking the big reason it doesn't add up, if it had gone the other way, with the fog of war, all these questions wouldn't have been asked. Or they would have been asked, but been much further down the road.
Well, and if the CIA or intelligence or a cabal of different forces decided to do this, you got to wonder if this was a failed inside job. What's the next step?
Yeah.
I would say Joe Biden needs to check his food. Seriously.
Well.
And, of course, Trump needs to keep checking his food as well.
No doubt. No doubt.
Because, I mean, there are a lot of folks saying this is not adding up. It's not adding up whatsoever. We're tired of it. And we're going to keep soldiering on. You know, great guy on to follow in the libertarian world is named Clinton Russell. Shame he's not their VP nominee this cycle, but is what it is. He put out this post that I think is spot on. He says, Eddie, the U.S. government can't find the January 6th pipe bomber.
Right.
Can't find the White House cokehead.
Right.
I think the cokehead is a little lesser issue of, say, a pipe bomber. But can't find the January 6th bomber. Can't find the White House cokehead. Can't find a single Epstein client. Can't find the culprit behind the Nord Stream 2 bombing. Can't find a motive for the Vegas shooter, biggest mass shooting in American history.
Right.
And can't find a motive just yet for a Trump hit. See, the problem is, folks, the government's just really awful at investigating crimes it committed. Of course, this is all speculation. This is tinfoil hat stuff. But we live in a world now where a lot of those folks that were mocked for years as conspiracy theorists, a term, I believe, created by the agency, have been shown pretty spot on a lot of things.
Right.
And there are going to be folks that roll their eyes at that, don't want to hear that. But unless answers start actually making sense, people are going to continue to start thinking that your negligence is so bad, it's tantamount to actual malice. 272-9228. You remember, and this clip is making the rounds. You remember when Chuck Schumer went on with Rachel Maddow? This is right after Trump's elected in 2016. And they're making the big deal out of, Trump. He wouldn't trust the CIA.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like all the different things that are, I didn't know were actual requirements to be an American government. They kept coming up with new rules for Trump. But this is what Chuck Schumer said all those years ago in the midst of Trump not trusting the intelligence agencies.
He's taking these shots, this antagonism, this taunting to the intelligence community.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really dumb to do this.
What do you think the intelligence community would do if they were motivated?
I don't know, but from what I am told, they are very upset with how he has treated them and talked about them. And we need the intelligence community. We don't know what's going on. Look at the Russian hacking.
He's taking the...
A lot of things wrong with that.
6 ways from Sunday.
These shots, this antagonism, this taunting to the intelligence community.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you.
Mm-hmm.
Before the assassination attempt, that is a disturbing thing to hear an incredibly powerful senator say.
Remember we said that then?
Oh, yeah. How many conversations that we had with Judge Napolitano about CIA having the goods on all sorts of elected officials, CIA being all around state houses in this country. Stories from folks very high up, essentially, hey, how much can we pay you to be on our side and to shut up? Just go home, go fishing. I'm just at a point in my life, and maybe it's a requirement if you do this over a decade, you go a little insane, that the Schoolhouse Rock version of our government and the Marvel movie history of our country just ain't true.
Yep, you're right, Joe.
And we're run by a bunch of folks who only have legitimacy to the extent that they have more power than you and they are willing to use it. And they have the ability to do it with impunity. Where does that leave most of America? I don't know. The beautiful thing is if these forces are real, they've had to use essentially the Republic, the Constitution, the democratic aspect of our government as like a hermit crab would use a shell.
Mm-hmm.
The beautiful thing is the shell can actually come back to life and kick out the crab. So they've gotten pretty wise at well, we're going to have, you can't really take back the full Congress because, some people are, especially in the Senate, are reelected in different years.
Yeah.
And even if you get into Congress, you get a bunch of folks up there, you have, what do they call the seniority system with the committees and all this stuff.
Very limited what you can do.
And only, the gang of 8, only 8 members of the Congress actually get the full intelligence updates and briefings in real time, if that. But the beautiful thing is, if you do hit critical mass, you can get off the planet, so to speak, or you can fight back. I think that's what they're worried about the most.
Well,
is you actually get a populist in there. And what does populism mean? Oh, the folks that are elected to run the government should run the government? See, but the people are stupid and hateful and stuff, and that's how you end up with Hitler, as this theory goes. So even though populism and democracy kind of look the same, they're totally different. Because on the Democratic side, we have this elite who are enlightened. and can save you from yourself. Doubtful. 272-9228. Though, did you see, I think you sent it to me, during a CNN, report from the convention floor, the RNC floor, there was a woman talking for CNN, and coming up tonight, so-and-so speaking, and this guy, who's just a tall drink of water. He's down low, wearing the cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And he had a button-up shirt that he unbuttoned, and he just slides into the frame behind her, opens up his shirt, and he's got a T-shirt that says, "Where's the Jeffrey Epstein client list?"
Yep.
And he just is like moving around, dancing, like doing a little dance.
I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the Matt Getz.
Calling out Kevin McCarthy? Just going up to him, like, if you were on stage, Kevin, they'd boo you out of the building.
Thought that was great.
Oh, my
Which
God.
I begin to understand their beef a little bit better, and I appreciate Matt for calling him out on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good, though. I really like that. And I don't know who it was. There's a guy kind of pulled him back a little bit. I'm like, dude, don't get on his bad side.
And somebody found a brilliant clip where it's a portion of Nikki Haley speaking, and it cuts to Trump talking to Vance, and you can clearly read his lips. Nikki Haley says, "Well, Donald Trump asked me to speak here tonight," and Trump, you can tell Trump looks at Vance and goes, "She actually asked me to speak. Here we go." And Vance starts laughing.
Dude, I was...
Even Chris Christie called her ass out.
Good. Well,
saying that her ambition always gets the better of her. So Chris Christie, that fatso, at least he went his own way. I always thought Christie was actually coming from a place of he really doesn't like Trump. I always thought Nikki Haley was more, no, this is my opportunity.
But I just can't believe, and I understand why they support her because they consider her one of them, but literally she just waited for that man to not be able to run. And so she could just stand up and go, okay, I'm your president now. No.
Well, and as far as the speeches go, I thought Ramaswamy was pretty good. I think he's probably the best natural speaker that was there last night, just in terms of giving a speech and getting the crowd riled up. I loved seeing it. Ron DeSantis was okay.
Yeah. I didn't see the Ronnies.
There were moments that were all right, but I forgot that there's something about the guy that's like nerd alert. Just the high-pitched voice thing going on. And then Marco Rubio has the shiniest forehead in the nation.
It's billboard forehead right there, buddy.
I guess word got back to him. I was calling him a butterface, so they tried to throw on the extra makeup. They should have put more on.
Was it glistening?
You could see the teleprompter words in his forehead. Ooh. That's how reflective his forehead was. And again... as I'm watching it, I don't think Marco Rubio's a dumb man. I think he can have the political debates. But I'm like, thank God he didn't pick Rubio. A lot of these folks just don't come across as very impressive.
Rubio's not very impressive.
So the biggest speech of his career upcoming for J.D. Vance. Let's see if Trump actually picked right in that regard. I think he did. But we shall see. And we'll get to some of the clips and what's been going on at the RNC coming up. Before we hit the break, though, did you see that Scott Mosley did some great reporting on 3 different shootings in Carriage Hills?
Yeah.
2 on the same block. People injured, and there was another man now dead.
You think there's a beef on that block there, Joey? You think?
And I actually knew some folks, Catholics right there. And we knew some folks who went to Catholic who lived in the neighborhood.
Well, I remember Carriage Hills was the rich side of town.
Yeah. And it's just gone, even back in those days when I was in high school and we were riding around, my buddy's, Bob had this turquoise station wagon.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Shaggin' wagon, baby.
We were cool in that, man. Real cool.
Nothing wrong with a shaggin' wagon.
But even riding around the neighborhood at that time, 10, 15 years ago, we're like, this is, he was like, just be careful. Let's not go in and out here at night.
Well, earlier this week, we had a couple stabbings in Montgomery.
Oh, stabbings?
Yeah. I think one person was killed by the stabbing, too. So. Yeah.
I'm happy to give the interim chief Gray Boys a chance, but it needs to get better yesterday.
Yeah, he's in
yesterday.
He's in the fire, buddy.
272-9228. And also, because it seemed like forever ago, I think the mayor should be doing a filmed town hall every frickin' week.
Kind of like a progress report.
Yeah.
I used to get a little bit of trouble in school, and I'd get a progress report, and
He should be doing those town halls until people get tired of the town halls.
Yeah, I agree. Not a bad idea at all.
That is genuine, unsolicited advice. I'm not even criticizing you. Just communicate more, man, and take tough questions from the public. 272-9228. Let's hit this break. But first, this part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And they're at River Region Contracting. Todd Clark and his team are ready to help you with your roof. Now, it could be you don't know you have a problem.
Right.
In fact, you don't even suspect one. Like, the roof looks fine. Well, did you get up there on that slanted roof? Not even the Secret Service will do that. So
I know some people that will, Joey.
Yeah, why not call up Todd and the team there at River Region Contracting?
That's right.
And for free, they can probably give you peace of mind. What do I mean? You can call them up, say, hey, I'd like an inspection done. They'll come out, check out, and be like, yeah, you're good to go. Like, how much are you? Nothing.
Free inspection.
They always have free inspections. And if they do find a problem, they always have free estimates that are also accurate. And they show up on time, get the job done well without creating a big mess. And then they're also a team of insurance specialists that can walk you through the claims process should your insurance company cover it. It's pretty awesome stuff.
I think so.
You've worked with them many a time.
Yep. They are my go-to roofers, man.
So call them up today. 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell Todd and the great team there at River Region Contracting that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. When you call Alabama Home Mortgage, from the moment we pick up the phone, you will hear the difference. We are passionate about what we do. To us, you're not just another applicant. When you call on us, you are trusting that we have your best interest at heart, and we do. We treat our customers like family, and that's why our customers turn into family, coming back to us time and time again. We know you have many options when it comes to mortgage financing, and we appreciate the opportunity to earn your business. We are excited to hear from you. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our passion is just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-368, Equal Housing Lender.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-457-6060. That's 1-800-457-6060. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-457-6060. That's 1-800-457-6060.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Full board of calls here. Let's go to Dana. Hey, Dana.
Good afternoon. Talking about the RNC Day 2, I thought DeSantis had a good one-liner about Weekend at Bernie's.
That was funny, yes.
And I really liked Ramaswamy. I mean, his was quick. It was to the point. I mean, I think he's an eloquent speaker. I think he'd be a great chief of staff for President Trump. But I'd also like to see him handle the press corps as well. But I think it's been great. Some of the people kind of overdone their 15 minutes, so to speak. But I think it's been great, and I really think that the Republican Party is finally unifying again.
Yeah, let's hope. I mean, there's always, say, knives behind people's backs in that world. But it does seem like everybody's saying the right thing publicly. I'll put it that way.
Right. Keep up the great work. Love your show.
Thank you, Dana. And I'll keep watching tonight. I hope some of these speeches get better. And it's not like stuff is bad. I mean, for instance, we played Katie Britt. I thought it was a solid speech about Biden's economy and we're going to get things better. Like, it was a pretty standard political speech. We didn't play Tim Scott because they had Tim try to recount the day, the assassination attempt. And you know how I presented it in my own words. I tried to be as accurate as possible.
Yeah.
He said, fight, fight, fight. Tim Scott decided to say, no, this man is a lion. And we thought he was down. He roared. He said it exactly like that. He roared as he said the word roar. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I think Duke's right. Like, what the heck? Like, you should just... But we'll keep watching. We'll bring you stuff. Let's go to Simpler Days. Hey, Simpler Days.
Well, gentlemen, we're back to the topic of crime on a daily basis. You know, Eddie can talk about this. Carriage Hills used to be one of the many great neighborhoods in Montgomery.
Yep.
And it used to be where, you know, people would have a starter home somewhere, and then they'd move up to like Carriage Hills.
Right.
And I had a very close family member that had a home in Carriage Hills for well over 30 years, and raised the family there, had all kind of emotional ties to the house. But when I saw it deteriorating, I kept trying to say, you need to move. You need to move. Well, kept hanging on, and then she went Christmas shopping. TJ Maxx came home, and a vehicle followed her in the driveway, and they carjacked her car, and luckily she had just stepped inside the door and locked the door. Car was running with Christmas presents in it. They located them stealing other cars, breaking into other cars, and then, of course, the juvenile system didn't hold them accountable in Montgomery.
Right.
So finally a guy showed up at her door with a cell phone in her hand with porn on it, trying to solicit yard work, and that's what sent her to Prattville. So all of my family's gone from Montgomery now, and it's sad, but this is going to continue, and there's no end in sight, and we've got a mayor that continues to preach social justice. He doesn't want a police chief that has the word enforcement, arrest, accountability, any of that. He wants a social justice activist. And that's who he's looking for. And there are many of them out there. There's a playbook for this, and you can find them, you know, in the West, in the East, and North, and South, all over the United States, and they follow this 21st policing philosophy. But we need one police chief, one good police chief, and I could give him a name of 2 or 3 of them across the state, and they would simply say in one voice, "Took them, Dano." Y'all have a good day.
Appreciate it, Simpler Days. Yep. Needs to be solved yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. how things go. Let's go to Chicken Man. Hey, Chicken Man.
All right, I've wrote down a few Secret Service mistakes.
Okay.
It appears to me, and a lot of people, believe this and thinking it. It just appears that the shooter was put in place to be the perfect shooter. I mean, when I was in the military, I was required to generate what we called a risk assessment for every mission that we did.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who don't know, what a risk assessment is, it's a form used in the military, or it could be the Secret Service too, to identify potential hazards and to analyze what could happen. Now, like I said, the Secret Service may have a different name for their way, but it's still the same setup. And I just don't understand how you got to have a pre-party that goes and analyzes the whole situation, before the campaigns even start. I don't know how they could mess up. That's a number one priority. That line of shot, he was given free instruction, a straight shot to the president. That should have been the number one danger zone.
Yeah, and I've been trying to listen to more special forces guys, security detail people, and they're all saying this was the catastrophic failure, so negligent it's verging on culpability and malice. Like something so deeply wrong here that. Yeah.
Oh well, I was just going to say that. Well, like I said, I've done plenty of these risk assessment forms, and so if the Secret Service needs my help, they're welcome to call me, or the rubber chicken. He can help too. But the main thing is the most major concern that I have is that the person assigned to do that risk assessment failed big time, and overlooked that threat. And I think Trump should be the one to say you're fired.
Yeah,
agreed.
Well,
you have a good day.
Appreciate it, Chicken Man. On a lighter note, we're doing this, tight shot on the governor of West Virginia.
Yeah.
And he's giving a speech. And then all of a sudden, after he makes a point and the crowd applauses, they go to a wide shot. And this is the wide shot. And I'm like, I wasn't expecting that. Why do you have your bulldog on stage?
Kind of look a little alike there, Joey. Just saying.
I think it's always a wise decision to bring a pet on stage.
Always.
I think that actually is endearing. But I got to pull that back up. Look at how happy he is. Like, that's a huge crowded room, and he's just sitting there in the chair like he's chilling.
What's up, Dad? I know I'm going to get a treat. Or we're going to get a treat when this is over, Dad.
Bulldogs are just fantastic. I feel bad for him here in the South. The humidity.
Not any dog, though. But the Bulldogs, you seen them...
well, they don't breathe very well, whether it's the Frenchies or the English Bulldog like that one.
You ever seen them skateboard?
Oh, yeah, they love it.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they freaking love it.
It's crazy.
How about this? Let's hit a quick break.
All right.
But first, this part of the program brought to you by All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical. And they're at All Pro, well, they're ready to help you. It's in the name with that HVAC system or with the electrical.
Yeah.
All around the home. It could be, hey, you need to check some things. Like basic maintenance on the electrical system is a wise thing.
It is very wise. Most people don't even think about it. But there's been times when I've opened up the old break-up box for people and we look in there, you see spiders, you'll see wasp nests and things like that. Those can cause issues.
Oh, yeah. Or maybe you're worried about the storms that are sure to be rolling through. I know Rich Thomas has been like, we need more rain. We're probably going to get more storms. Well, as they get more violent with the heat patterns and whatnot, you probably want to get a brand new Generac generator.
That's the way to go, Joey. You don't even notice when the power goes out.
Mm-hmm. Incredible tech. And especially if you're relying on medical devices staying on, certain things you must keep power on for, All Pro has your back in that regard. So again, whether it's HVAC systems or electrical, call All Pro at 301-1961. That's 301-1961. Or you can always go to allproheatingair.com and tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellows on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV. The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, the best quality building materials in the river region for decades. From common builds to special orders and local delivery. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Hi, everybody. The dog days of summer rolls on. There'll be more triple-digit heat indices and more random storms. I think we'll be in the mid-90s again today with those triple-digit heat indices, but the number of storms will be a little bit more numerous on the radar. Still feast or famine, hit or miss. Tonight's low 74, tomorrow's high in the low to mid-90s. And on Thursday and Friday and Saturday, the number of pop-up storms will be more numerous. Still random, but the radar will be quite active, with lower 90s each day. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
We're redesigning financial freedom at CB&S Bank. Make purchases at participating stores and restaurants using your CB&S Bank debit card through your mobile devices with Mobile Wallet. Charges and fees may apply for your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for more information. Member FDIC.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
This is Matt Woodham with Woodham Southside Firestone. As a businessman, you need to watch your advertising dollar. We've been using Blue Water Broadcasting for many years. Blue Water Broadcasting is the biggest bang for your buck. Blue Water Broadcasting and Woodham Southside Firestone, great combination.
Radio reaches over 90% of everyone in the river region. Shouldn't your ads be out there where your customers are? Call us to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
The Tears family has been your local Roto-Rooter service since 1964. Drain cleaning, plumbing repair, and those troublesome septic tanks, no problem. Technology has changed a bit in the last 54 years. Video inspections of lines to locate problems is available, as well as scheduling your appointment online. River Region residents have trusted Roto-Rooter for over half a century. You can too. Call today at 272-7130 or visit online at rotorooteralabama.com.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. Leave no troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
We're just setting down ground rules here off air. Let's go right to the phones at 272-9228. Talk to Kathy P. Hey, Kathy.
Hey, it's khaki, like the pants. I'm sorry, Joey.
Hey, Khaki P. How you doing?
Hey, my children were born in Montgomery in 90 and 92, and Farmer was mayor then. And I'm getting ready to move back to the area in Millbrook, and a friend turned me on to your show. I love it.
Thank you.
I'm scared of what's happening. I've got 3 quick points as far as the conspiracy thing goes. I read a BBC article that this boy Crooks was in high school, graduated 2022. He tried out for the rifle team,
Yeah.
and the instructor banned him from ever coming back because he was so irresponsible and a bad shot.
Yep. Yes.
That's what
I saw the same thing.
And also, doesn't the timing, the weekend before the national convention, the timing's awfully suspect to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
nobody's really mentioned that to me.
Well, and when you start stacking all these weird things up, you're like, okay, maybe it is just negligence. Maybe.
But
But come
compiled
on.
with everything else, it's sure hard to argue against.
And then people are now doing these digital renderings and from different angles of
his
Trump
head?
turning his head.
Right.
This is an act of God. Like the shot was supposed to be right there.
Yep.
We were all supposed to see him get his brains blown out on national TV.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God
Well,
we're not
the
living
other
in that
thing-
timeline.
Right. Well, the other thing is the redheaded boy that saw him get their head blown off. He said that they were standing there pointing at the Secret Service had the binoculars on him, and that boy was up there flailing around with that gun. I just don't. How did they get into the tree line, and the Secret Service didn't approach them? Number one. So that's suspect to me as well. Because I grew up in a political family. I'm from North Carolina. My father ran for Attorney General. I know this how it goes.
Oh yeah.
And it's just something's not right. That boy couldn't hit that shot. I just don't believe he could hit a kill shot with that. And also, just for the Stephen Reed thing, you realize that the black mayors of America have a protest permit at the RNC.
Somebody sent that to me this morning. Yep.
Interesting.
That's my friend I'm moving up to see in Millbrook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
I just saw that.
Yeah. Also, I'm not happy about that situation neither, but something is not right with this shooting. This kid couldn't have hit him like that.
I think you're 100% right. Honestly, I don't know the solution to this because of what and everybody's starting to think, is that possible? How do you solve it?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's
the
just
bullet
daylight.
casings will be the first thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
thank you, Joey. I love your show, and I'm looking forward to getting up there. Keep it real, man. Montgomery wasn't the way it was, and I'm so sad for what's happening.
well, I still have hope we can turn it around. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate the call.
Have a great day. I love your show.
Thank you.
Oh, that's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to East of the Rockies. Hey, East.
Hey, very quickly, I think all this attention on national stuff is going to take us away from things that are happening close to home. I didn't know if you had heard, but the city of Prattville has condemned 1.6 acres in front of the brand new Center Point Church on McQueen Smith Road, and they're going to widen the road onto their parking lot. I just think it's kind of odd. They got plenty of room on the other side.
That's
interesting.
So it would be something worth looking at if the news ever slows down.
Is the church at least being compensated, or are they just taking?
I don't know. It's being condemned, which it sounds like eminent domain, but they're just condemning it.
Huh.
What does that mean, Eddie?
Well, if it's eminent domain, then there'll be a court case, and well, they'll lose. It just takes them longer to lose. That's pretty much how that goes. The condemn part, I don't know, unless there's some kind of pollutant or something like that, which sounds. I can't see a church not getting compensated for that. I can't see the highway.
I can't either. I hope they do the right thing. I'm just glad people aren't getting shot and stuff up here. So
yeah,
we'll live with that.
Like to keep it that way.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you, East.
Let's go to Red Top. Hey, Red Top.
Good afternoon. And this crime thing goes around in all three of these metro county cities. That is a shame about Carriage Hills because it was a real nice damn neighborhood for a long time. But it's been kind of rough for about 30 years. And let me tell you, I just went and got the biggest load of vitamins and minerals. Golly Moses, no wonder I'm so healthy. You know what? Health food store.
Nobody likes a bragger, all right?
Oh, why is that bragging? I just got a great meal at Hog Rock Barbecue. And let me tell you what a big difference it makes. The lady I'm working on the house for, 62 years old. She can't hardly walk. She's got so much arthritis. I'm 70, running up the ladder. Okay. That's because of what I eat, like steamed cabbage, carrot salad, and turnip green. I don't have cataracts because I eat carrot salad. My big brother, 2 years older, has cataracts. I want to emphasize to people how important it is what you eat. And don't take a bunch of damn vitamins because all you're doing is making the fish healthy. Now, I thought Vivek's speech was awesome. And Joey, I wish he could be Secretary of State because he would talk so fast and so logically. I don't know how anybody could answer him.
Oh, they'll find a way. Like AOC
God.
tried on Twitter saying he hates LGBTQ people. And he came back at her, and
Good.
It's a whole thing.
Good.
I'll tell you, that mouse can move so fast, and those white teeth. He's like a squirrel chewing on wood or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was great, and you guys got to check out the video. A customer at Hog Rock just showed this to me from the Australian television station who has the picture of the sniper that shot the shooter and Donald Trump in the same range. And what's creepy about it is the sniper, which is not a Secret Service, he's a local guy. He's got his eye on the trigger, and he's focusing on something. Donald Trump gets shot, and he shoots instantly at whatever it is, and he hits the guy. The obvious inference is, Joey, he had his sight on the guy to start with. And it just looks like they were waiting for him to shoot. That's really, really sad, and I'm really sad the FBI's investigating. Don't you have lots of confidence in that one? Roll Tide, go Trump. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the same field office that went ahead and did the raid of Mar-a-Lago is now investigating the assassination of that same guy.
That makes you feel well.
Or the attempted assassination, excuse me.
Makes you feel good about that, right? Justice will be served, Joey.
Yeah, real good. No, it just came to me when Red Top brought up Carriage Hills again. Back when I was in high school, so this would have been 06, 05, 06, 07, they had roadblocks. The police had installed roadblocks, so there was only one main entry exit.
Ooh, wow.
Because they were having such problems there in the neighborhood, they wanted to bottleneck it. Because I think their entrance is off the boulevard and then also on Devon Road.
Yep.
Yeah. What a mess. But we cover it all here on News and Views in the afternoon.
Well, we're one cop short, too, because one got arrested.
Well, damn. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The record heat that baked the West Coast for much of last week has arrived on the East Coast. Finally, a cold front will bring an end to the record heat in the East by Wednesday night into Thursday. Houston's prolonged outages following Hurricane Beryl have some fed up and frustrated residents taking out their anger on repair workers who are trying to restore power across the city. Authorities say some workers have had guns drawn on them or rocks thrown their way. The U.S. Supreme Court granted a stay of execution for a Texas man shortly before he was to receive a lethal injection in a killing decades ago. The nation's high court issued the stay about 20 minutes before Ruben Gutierrez was to have been taken to the death chamber. The Dow ahead 198 points, the NASDAQ losing 492. This is SRN News.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals, tax and penalty free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity and peace of mind.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by H&H Carpets, where you will find a complete line of Mohawk carpet with exceptionally clean, smart strand fiber. It's always available and ready to be installed. H&H Carpets, across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway.
Rich Thomas weather.
Hi, everybody. The dog days of summer rolls on. There'll be more triple-digit heat indices and more random storms. I think we'll be in the mid-90s again today with those triple-digit heat indices, but the number of storms will be a little bit more numerous on the radar. Still feast or famine, hit or miss. Tonight's low 74, tomorrow's high in the low to mid-90s. And on Thursday and Friday and Saturday, the number of pop-up storms will be more numerous. Still random, but the radar will be quite active, with lower 90s each day. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. Soon we'll be moving to a brand new location in Montgomery. During our big moving sale, get a great deal on a Kubota with 0% APR up to 84 months with approved credit. Now through September 30th, 2024. See Capital Tractor in Montgomery or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. The Montgomery Police Department has initiated disciplinary proceedings against one of its officers after he was arrested. 43-year-old patrolman Cephas Dixon was charged with harassment on Tuesday. The details of the allegation are not yet available, but Dixon has been removed from patrol and put on administrative duties. A Montgomery man who was out on bail is back in jail. Police arrested 21-year-old Keontae Shipp Tuesday for attempted murder and first-degree robbery, among other charges. Shipp was out on bond from an Elmore County arrest in April, where he was charged with trafficking marijuana and promoting prison contraband. The annual Alabama back-to-school sales tax holiday is coming up this weekend. Beginning Friday, July 19th, and running through Sunday, the state will waive its 4% sales tax on school-related items and clothing. Many cities, towns, and counties around the state will also be waiving their local sales tax as well. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man. Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the studio with me. And, well, this just broke while we were talking to folks in the first hour. Yeah, just a quick report here. Fox News Alert.
News. This is coming from Los Angeles Times. When your friends turn against you. So, California Congressman Adam Schiff has now asked Biden to leave. He's going to kiss up to him, though. Here's the quote. Has been one of the most consequential presidents in our nation's history. His lifetime of service as senator, vice president, and now as president has made our country better. And here's the quote. But, and you know if it came before the word but, he probably didn't mean it. That's how our language works. But our nation is at a crossroads. A second Trump presidency will undermine, blah, 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 blah. The choice to withdraw from the campaign is President Biden's alone, but Schiff believes it's time for Biden to pass the torch. Breaking news.
Okay, so if I were Biden and you keep getting all these folks that are asking him to leave and he's not going to leave, I'd ask him, have y'all talked to my VP yet? What do y'all want her to do? I would flip the script right back on them. Because every one of those weak-kneed, yellow-belly little turds would be like, and it would fade away.
And then at Town Hall, Katie Pavlich is reporting Mayorkas, he's the Secretary of Homeland Security.
Yeah,
Mayorkas is blocking Secret Service Director from testifying.
How?
The Department of Homeland Security has opened an investigation after the Secret Service catastrophically failed to protect former President Trump. The Inspector General has also opened an investigation, the Inspector General of DHS. Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill have also launched separate investigations and have called on Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle to testify on Monday. According to House Speaker Mike Johnson, DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is attempting to block Cheadle from testifying. Johnson called on Cheadle to resign during an interview with Fox Wednesday morning. Johnson's claim is backed up by reporting from yesterday. Johnson said yesterday at the RNC that the House is conducting an immediate and thorough investigation of these tragic events. That work has already begun. The American people deserve to know the truth. But the main person who's the head of the Secret Service, no, she's not allowed to testify. We're playing this game still right now?
Apparently. That just shows you. Why don't they want her to testify? Why not? She might spill the beans. She might point the finger at somebody else.
Mistakes of this size are not made innocently.
Yeah. Like I said, man, it smells like Epstein all over again.
Let's go to Crawdad. Hey, Crawdad.
Hey, I forgot what I was calling, but I'll tell you one thing for sure. I have a friend that has a gun range you can go to.
Mm-hmm.
There are sight out 300 yards. You put a cantaloupe stick out there, and then you take a red dot and try to hit it. You can forget about it. It isn't going to happen. I don't care how good you are. That guy, when I was looking at the AP wire, when he's 17 years old, he hooked up with a couple of brainiacs that created a fundraising thing and voting, crowdsourcing for Democrats. So when the kid there is 17, he's interested in that. I would say, making my longer story shorter, is just people go look at what the kid did when he donated $15 to a particular organization when he's 17 years old. That organization, very interesting, crowdsourcing for Democrats.
Yeah, Act Blue, yeah.
Okay, that one. He is not even a patsy for a conspiracy thing. He is a disenfranchised, and mental, emotional something. But I tell you, I can all certainty tell you the good Lord had his hand on that day for the man, Donald Trump. But I regret the loss of life at any time. The family's suffering because of Satan. Satan is still very busy. So we have to say, Lord, help us and all of us together, because we do have some really good representatives running to unseat wacko birds from the DNC running this place. And you guys do a great job. Thank you for putting up with me.
Appreciate it, Crawdad.
Love you, Crawdad.
You know, and I watched an interesting interview. Chris Williamson, a pretty top-notch podcaster, and the production quality's gone up leaps and bounds. His podcast just looks great. It's like, I think, shot in 4K. It looks like a freaking movie. But he interviewed Tim Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen him on many a thing, right? Like former Green Beret, Special Forces guy. Has been on all sorts of TV shows.
That's on Chris's podcast all the time.
And so they did an emergency, like, what the heck happened here, Tim? This is your field. And so one thing Red Top just mentioned, the counter snipers on the roof where he looks off his glass and then is kind of shocked by the first shot. Williamson asked Tim Kennedy, what's that? He goes, I don't think that guy's ever been in a firefight. Like, he's a good shot, he's well trained, but you can't replicate exactly that real time you're in the middle of actual fire being thrown down towards you. So it struck him as like, okay, that guy just doesn't have that much experience. He clearly wasn't, say, a veteran who had been in the middle of it, sitting on rooftops. There are a few other things, like if you're that sniper, again, this is coming from Tim Kennedy, if you're that sniper, you have every authority to take out an active threat. But what does that even mean?
Right.
Because active threat is like, okay, they're firing at the president, at your principal that you're supposed to protect. Yeah, he's an active threat. Shoot him. You don't need approval from higher ups. Or is it a kid who just climbed up on the roof and wanted to see, like, the president? And as soon as he pops set up, you blow his head off, and now that's a national news story.
Or you could have a lot. You got to worry about what's downrange. It could be for the law enforcement, for all you know. There's several questions that come into account being a sniper. Like I said, the ones that were behind the president or the ex-president is not the ones that took him out.
Kennedy was also saying things like a standard perimeter would be more like 1,500 yards.
That rooftop would have somebody on it.
Yeah.
Period. Just period.
Yes.
And there's questions, how'd the kid get on the roof? Well, there's probably a ladder, to get to the AC and things like that. But again, there were people inside the building. Why were there not someone on top of it? And until somebody can prove me different, it's inside job all day long.
272-9228. That's 272-9228. Now, I want to go to something that, of all folks, Matt Taibbi.
Taibbi?
Yeah, Matt Taibbi wrote this up, and I think it's just something I want to read straight.
Right.
He writes, the decision announced at a White House briefing Monday morning, quote, in light of this weekend's events, the president has directed me to work with the Secret Service to provide protection to Robert Kennedy Jr., was the quote from Homeland Security Director Alejandro Mayorkas. It's difficult to read the line, quote, in light of this weekend's events, end quote, and not see an admission on the part of the White House that Secret Service protection was previously being denied to Kennedy Jr. for political reasons.
Right.
Or out of spite, if those are even two different things in this era, which is, talk about a quick aside that Taibbi sneaks in there. That's freaking brilliant. Is it political reason, just spite? No, I think a lot of spite is driving our politics.
Right.
Whatever the original prerogative was for pushing the envelope with that denial, it seems to have been removed by a series of paradigm-shifting news events, leading to a flurry of real and symbolic surrenders. MSNBC, likewise, made an extraordinary decision Sunday night to pull Morning Joe, with CNN saying the network wanted to, quote, avoid a scenario in which one of the show's stable of 24+ guests might make an inappropriate comment on live television. As with the Secret Service decision, MSNBC was making a major admission, essentially telling audiences its lead morning news show is either not really a news show or that its format only holds up under something less than maximum scrutiny. I can't recall a similar act of self-sabotage in media, writes Matt Taibbi. Meanwhile, in a move that went almost unnoticed, Meta announced Friday that it was lifting restrictions on Donald Trump's Facebook and Instagram accounts, with CNN citing company sources saying that this was done, quote, to ensure that Trump, the presumptive Republican nominee for president, would have equal standing with Democrat President Joe Biden. The next day, after the attempt on Trump's life that left firefighter Corey Comparatore dead, Axios ran a story about Democratic reaction. Burying the lead, they quoted a senior House Democrat at the bottom saying, "We've all resigned ourselves to a second Trump presidency." There's a longer story to be written about the sudden collapse of many of the core premises of the last 8 years of American politics, writes Matt Taibbi. In particular, the notion that Trump is such a unique existential threat that the system would not bear treating him like any other politician. In conjunction with Trump's documents case collapsing, and a list of other retreats on the lawfare prosecution front, we appear headed for a new world, though what that will look like remains very unclear. The two obvious options are retreat from the at-all-cost mindset and a double down, the double down being the pattern in the Trump era. Who knows yet? But it's remarkable to watch. Thought that was just a good summation of what is slowly starting to happen in media and within the Democratic Party. And now today, Adam Schiff calling on Biden to step aside. Goodness gracious. Now, I mentioned this earlier. We got to watch it together, Eddie.
Okay.
This is Nikki Haley giving her speech. Yeah. And she says a thing in this speech. Hold on. It's a quick clip. Take it away.
President Trump asked me to speak to this convention in the name of unity.
So can you see what Trump mouthed there? So here she's.
I saw it.
To
In the
this
name of
convention in the name of unity.
I saw it, but it reminds me of a meme that has this little kid on there. It's probably 2 or 3 years old. And he says, "BS,
Right.
BS."
Booty. Yeah, Trump leans over to J.D. Vance and goes, "She actually wanted to speak. Here we go." Yeah, and DeSantis had a good line or two, but I was just going through them, and I'm like, okay, I like Vivek. I did like Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I think if you're looking for women
can
who are
appreciate
rising
her,
in
yeah.
politics,
Yeah.
she has a unique approach. It comes across quite genuine,
Yep.
and I think she gave one of the better speeches of the night.
Only thing that ever makes me nervous about her, Arkansas.
Now, she said that as she was kind of like new and they're trying to butcher her like they did Sean Spicer, poor man. They destroyed that guy.
They really did.
I
really did.
I started feeling bad for him. Like, they destroyed Sean
Remember
Spicer.
the SNL skit? I mean,
Oh, with Melissa McCarthy?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
right. Everyone found that funny.
So it's like, okay, who can we get in here as a fighter? And they were going after Sarah Huckabee Sanders hardcore. She said, the guy I know, Trump, behind the scenes, President Trump pulls me aside and says, "You're smart, you're beautiful. And the reason they're coming after you is you're good at your job. Keep going." And it's little touches and flourishes like that the human side of Donald Trump is what needs to come out. Now, is that always pretty?
No, because he's human.
I think more and more of that, please, would be very effective and, in a way, cathartic for everybody. I mean, there are going to folks who always hate him.
Of course.
Especially folks pretending to be his friends.
Happens.
And that's what I want to go to next. This is, I'll have to skip ahead a little bit in the clip. This is, I guess, Real America's Voice talking about the convention and the J.D. Vance pick.
Okay.
Darren Beatty of Revolver News. But eventually they get to the question of J.D. Vance. And here's what Beatty had to say, echoing kind of what Tucker Carlson said, neutering Lindsey Graham online. Let's listen in together.
On that point, you don't require convincing from me. It's only necessary, as you were pointing out earlier, look at the people who worked so vigorously to bury J.D. Vance's political career, not only for the VP slot, but all the way going back to the Senate. I mean, the opposition, a lot of people don't, there's a lot in public facing, but The private facing behind the scenes opposition was absolutely insane going against JD, and it was coming from the usual suspects. Huge push by Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch had a huge push against Vance. Lindsey Graham, this is really interesting. And it shows what a snake Lindsey Graham is. I think we all know from how he operates. You can kind of intuitively sense how a person like that would be so snake-like. But Lindsey Graham was working so hard to sabotage JD, pushing Tim Scott. Thank God Trump didn't pick Tim Scott. Pushing Tim Scott so hard, then pushing others. And then when JD got the nod, Lindsey Graham comes out and does this big public statement like they were friends and he was supporting him all along. It gives you a sense of how someone like Lindsey Graham maneuvers. But all the usual suspects, from the John Boltons to the Karl Roves to the Rupert Murdochs, absolutely hate JD. And there are a lot of reasons for that. One of the big reasons is that he doesn't want to get us involved in foreign wars. He doesn't want to take your taxpayer money and dump it into the coffers of corrupt oligarchs in Ukraine just to prolong a war and the deaths of innocent people for no benefit to American interests. He's been against that. He's been one of the stalwarts in the Senate for his time there. So I'd say, the people who hate this country, they are stupid in many ways, but they're not stupid in the sense that they don't understand who would benefit them and who wouldn't benefit them. And they clearly understood that JD elevated to a position of vice president would not benefit the crooks and the snakes that have run this country into the ground.
I thought that was just very well said. And I want to share now a thread that JD Vance himself put out on his own Twitter account. This was in March of 2023.
Okay.
March 19th, 2023. And because you're seeing a lot of stuff in the press, folks, and look at all the nasty things J.D. Vance said about Trump.
That's all I've seen.
And it's like...
That's all I've seen.
Okay, pull up the Glenn Beck clips of them doing the Cheeto stuff, and Beck is now loving Trump. And by the way, these folks said, and to J.D. Vance's credit, he said, I was wrong. They didn't just move on like Lindsey Graham moves on. They come out and say, I was wrong. I'm sorry, I was wrong. I have changed my mind. I'm willing to accept somebody in that regard. So this was J.D. Vance explaining where he's coming from, again, in March of 2023, when it comes to foreign policy. Why did the Lindsey Grahams and the John Boltons and the Rupert Murdochs and the Karl Roves and all the old Bush neocons hate this guy? I think it has something to do with this thread I'm about to read. J.D. Vance writes, 20 years ago, we invaded Iraq. The war killed many innocent Iraqis and Americans. It destroyed the oldest Christian populations in the world. It cost over $1 trillion and turned Iraq into a satellite of Iran. It was an unforced disaster. And I pray that we learn its lessons. As an 18-year-old kid, see, and this is the thing, somebody like me might say that. You can hear of a lot of libertarians that didn't want the Iraq war to begin with. Tucker Carlson, for instance, could also say, hey, I supported it, and I was wrong, especially once I went to Iraq. But then this next part of where Vance goes into his own biography, I think gives even more credibility to what he's saying on this. He says, again, as an 18-year-old kid, I supported the war. I enlisted in the Marines a month after we invaded. He didn't go to graduate school in Yale Law and then go do a cushy gig for the JAG Corps or something. Which everybody serving is great, but it's not this. You enlist in the Marines at 18 years old, right out of high school?
Yep.
Right after we invade another country? And he left for boot camp a few months after he graduated from high school. Even though I was just a kid, I still feel guilty for supporting the war. I think often of what led me to go wrong in 2003. And more importantly, what led so many smart people to support a world historic disaster. Very few of its cheerleaders show any remorse or willingness to rethink what made them so wrong. There are many reasons I'd change my mind on Donald Trump, but Iraq is perhaps the most important. Not that he was an early critic of the war, but that the people in the conservative movement who hated him most were the most wrong and the most proud about foreign policy in 2003. Bill Kristol, David Frum, and on. I once admired these men. Then I got to know them. And the more I knew them, the more I realized their hatred of Trump, Pat Buchanan, and others was a form of projection. We are still living in the ideological cage created by that projection. Our foreign policy is still held hostage by men so desperate to avoid looking in the mirror. They will support the next war, and then the next one, until their country is hollowed out. I hope we do better in the future. And I know that we won't until the people who led us into Iraq are scorned and ignored across the spectrum. Iraq was a disaster, yes, but the best way to do justice to the honored dead is to learn the lessons purchased by their blood. Again, that was over a year ago, in March of 2023. This wasn't like JD trying to position last month.
Right.
And just the way he said it, talk about heartfelt. And I don't think you can impeach his credibility on this.
No.
He signed up and put his own ass on the line when he was a young kid.
Yep.
He'll be speaking tonight, I believe. As more news continues to come out, people showing more graphics right now on Fox News of the grounds there. The shooter approximately 150 yards away, right there to the podium. Secret Service, FBI brief lawmakers. I'm sure we're getting all the answers. Sure, we're getting all the answers. 272-9228. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, well, they can help you men out. It's that simple, especially if you're, well, you notice a particular problem. You know what it's called?
What's that?
ED.
Oh.
You know what that stands for?
I believe I do.
What does it stand for?
Erectile dysfunction.
Oh, that's no fun.
No, it wouldn't be.
And guys, I hope you know that pills often quit working.
Yep.
And then you'll start, like most guys, making excuses for going to bed. There are actually studies now, Eddie, that show that men will be more irritable and argumentative before bed just to avoid failing at intimacy.
That's interesting.
Or it could be a more generalized problem, like you literally aren't in the mood.
Right.
And you're just tired all the livelong day. You're seeing weight gain, loss of muscle mass, the lack of energy and drive. Well, knowing whether you have low testosterone is huge in combating some of these issues. And the providers there at Montgomery Men's Health will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And you also get a PSA score, which is a great marker for prostate.
Sure is.
And Montgomery Men's Health, if you do have low T, have low T treatments that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym.
Brother.
That's right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice an increased libido.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's a lot right with it.
Yeah.
So, guys, it's time to feel amazing. Feel like you used to. And you can actually book the same day that you call. 440-3663. That number, 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. And be sure to tell them Joey, that fellow on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Hey folks, thank you for making CTE Outdoor Power a preferred dealer and Hustler one of the most popular riding mowers. Recently, I met a couple from Evergreen who discovered us because friends recommended both CTE and Hustler. They heard our team of friendly, helpful professionals would guide them to the Hustler model that's the best fit for them, and that because we support all the products we sell, we take the hassle out of future needed parts and service. They liked Hustler because of the highest quality and warranty, and that we partner with Hustler to offer 0% interest financing. Now, if you haven't discovered Hustler and CTE yet, now is the perfect time, because this month when you mention this ad, we'll pay the sales tax when you purchase any new riding mower. Folks, can you get all that anywhere else? CTE Outdoor Power, I-85 at Perry Hill Road, and CTEOutdoorPower.com.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
This summer, let the experts at Clearwaters take care of your tree troubles. Whether it's a hazardous tree looming over your property or simply time for a seasonal trim or damage from a storm, their team is ready to help. With over 10 years of experience serving Montgomery and the surrounding areas, Clearwaters prides themselves on safety, efficiency, and leaving your property cleaner than they found it. Their certified arborists ensure that the job is done right from the start. No job is too big or too small, residential or commercial. Clearwaters handles it all, and they are proud to offer competitive pricing and free estimates. They understand that your trees are an investment in your property's beauty and value. Call Clearwaters Management today at 430-0376 and let them take care of your trees so you can enjoy a safe, more beautiful place. Clearwaters, where expertise meets excellence.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, serving the river region with the best quality building materials for decades. Contractor to do-it-yourselfer. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather. Hi, everybody. The dog days of summer rolls on. There'll be more triple-digit heat indices and more random storms. I think we'll be in the mid-90s again today with those triple-digit heat indices, but the number of storms will be a little bit more numerous on the radar. Still feast or famine, hit or miss. Tonight's low 74, tomorrow's high in the low to mid-90s. And on Thursday and Friday and Saturday, the number of pop-up storms will be more numerous. Still random, but the radar will be quite active, with lower 90s each day. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back.
Yeah, just to reiterate, it's not getting better the more information that's coming out. It's not getting better for the government. We already didn't trust you. And the story, it's reminding me too, this slow walk of stuff. Yeah. It's reminding me of, say, the Vegas shooting.
Exactly.
It's reminding me of the pipe bomb. Hell, it's reminding me of the origins of COVID. The way the media, the official sources are going about this.
Yep. Well, this worked before. Why wouldn't you run the same play again? And again. And again.
So in a second, I want to take a break from talking myself, and I want to play the Vivek speech.
All right.
Because he was to the point. And, he's our guy.
I like Vivek.
I like J.D. Vance. I like Trump. I like a lot of these folks, but I like Vivek. He speaks to a certain something that Eddie and I both enjoy. So we'll get to him in a second. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services.
And Joey. So they've come out to the Airbnb because all this rain we've got standing water. I was really worried about mosquitoes. They came out. It's probably been about 2 weeks since they last came out. I was there this morning. Got standing water. So I really expected mosquitoes. None.
Wow.
None, man. I was outside, didn't get eat up. I was out there from daylight till about 8:30.
How long ago was it when they treated?
Probably 2 weeks ago. And we've had rain. So I'm thinking, okay, and this was my concern. Whatever they sprayed is probably washed away.
Sure,
yeah. Had all this rain. No, dude, it's just as solid today as it was 2 weeks ago.
That's awesome.
It is, especially with me because I don't like getting mosquito bit. Messes, it could mess up the cash machine.
Well, and you got that sweet meat.
Oh, don't I know it? Yeah.
Anyway, Pest Pro can help you whether you're looking for a particular job like mosquito treatment.
Right.
You actually want to enjoy your backyard, back porch, or maybe you're more of a front porch person.
Okay.
Sitting there in the swing.
Oh, yeah.
You like swing bench?
Well, a lot of people like to sit in the swing, watch cars
in
go
the
by.
rocking chair or something. Or it could be you need termite inspections and treatments done. Or it could be you're just looking for a local pest control company that's professional, good at what they do, that people trust.
That's a good one right there.
Just to be your everyday pest control company.
Yep.
That's Pest Pro Services. So call them today, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. They have a very active Facebook
Yes,
page.
they do.
When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fools on the radio, sent you. I got to stop calling us fools, morons, idiots. The secret might get out.
What, that we're fools, morons, and idiots?
Yeah.
Oh, I think they know.
Yeah, I think they know.
It's on the TV now.
Yeah, but I hate the new listeners who are just like, man, these guys got it going on. I'm like, wait, we'll disappoint you.
Yeah, give it a minute.
It's much like a marriage.
Just give it a minute.
Yeah, relationships take time.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember when I first used to listen to Greg Budell. My son turned me on to him. I listened to his first show, and I called my son back and go, who's this guy? He thinks he knows everything. Who is this guy? 3 days later, I called my son back. I really like Greg. He's a pretty cool guy. I get
Greg's
it.
pretty open about everything. Well, how about this? Here's Vivek.
Okay.
Let's listen in together.
Now, please welcome businessman Vivek Ramaswamy of Ohio.
Good reception.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the warm welcome. It's good to be back in Milwaukee. This time last year, I was a candidate for U.S. president, and I'm proud to say that I achieved the impossible, which is that most of you actually know how to say my name by now.
All right. There you go.
So thank you for that. It's good to be back. We're in the middle of a national identity crisis right now. Faith, patriotism, hard work, and family have disappeared, only to be replaced by race, gender, sexuality, and climate. But we're not going to win this election just by criticizing the other side. We're going to win this by standing for our own vision of who we really are. What does it mean to be a Republican in the year 2024? What does it mean to be an American in the year 2024? It means we believe in the ideals of 1776. It means we believe in merit, that you get ahead in this country, not on the color of your skin, but on the content of your character and your contributions. It means we believe in the rule of law. And I say this as the kid of legal immigrants to this country. That means your first act of entering this country cannot break the law. That is why we will seal the southern border on day one. It means the people who we elect to run the government ought to be the ones who actually run the government, not unelected bureaucrats in the deep state. These are not black ideas or white ideas. They are not even Democrat ideas or Republican ideas. They are American ideas that we fought a revolution to secure. And the man who will revive these ideals in the United States of America is your next president, the 47th president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. If you want to seal the border, vote Trump. If you want to restore law and order in this country, vote Trump. If you want to reignite the economy in this country, vote Trump. If you want to revive national pride in this country, vote Trump. If you want to make America great again, vote Trump. But there is one more reason I'm going to ask you to vote Trump, and it's the most important one. It's the one the media won't talk about, but it's the truth. Donald Trump is the president who will actually unite this country, not through empty words, but through action. Because you know what? Success is unifying. Excellence is unifying. That's who we are as Americans. That's who we've always been. To those of you watching this at home tonight, I'd like to deliver a message that the media doesn't want you to hear from the Republican Party. Our message to Black Americans is this. The media has tried to convince you for decades that Republicans don't care about your communities, but we do. We want for you what we want for every American. Safe neighborhoods, clean streets, good jobs, a better life for your children, and a justice system that treats everyone equally, regardless of your skin color and regardless of your political beliefs.
Good luck with that.
Our message to every legal immigrant in this country is this. You're like my parents. You deserve the opportunity to secure a better life for your children in America. But our message to illegal immigrants is also this. We will return you to your country of origin, not because you're all bad people, but because you broke the law. And the United States of America was founded on the rule of law. Our message to millennials, speaking as one myself, yes, it's true. Our government sold us a false bill of goods with the Iraq War and the 2008 financial crisis, loading up our national debt that falls on our generation's shoulders, telling us that if we took out college loans, we'd somehow get a head start on the American dream when it hasn't worked out that way. But we can't just be cynical about our country because the United States of America is still the last best hope that we have, and we deserve a better class of politician, one who actually tells us the truth, even if it comes with some mean tweets from time to time.
Hold on, I gotta pause it there. Come on, Vivek. The mean tweets are great.
Not everyone enjoyed them, Joey.
I love them.
Me too. Not everybody enjoys a mean tweet when it doesn't come from their team.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going.
And our message to Gen Z is this. You're going to be the generation that actually saves this country. You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative. Say you want to get married, have kids, teach them to believe in God and pledge allegiance to their country. Because you know what? Fear has been infectious in this country, but courage can be contagious too. That too is what it means to be an American. And you know what? If you're at home and you disagree with everything I just said, our message to you is this. We will still defend to the death your right to say it, because that is who we are as Americans. We are the country where we can disagree like hell and still get together at the dinner table at the end of it. That is the America I know. That is the America we miss. We do not have to be ancient Rome. We don't have to be this nation in decline. We can still be a nation in our ascent. A nation whose best days, not in some fake politician way, but in a true way, a nation whose best days are actually still ahead of us. Still on our way to that shining city on a hill, that country where no matter who you are, or where your parents came from, or what your skin color is, or how long your last name is, that you will still get ahead in this country with your own hard work, your own commitment, your own dedication, and that you know what? You are free to speak your mind at every step of the way. That is the American dream. That is what won us the American Revolution. That is what reunited us after the Civil War. That is what won us 2 world wars and the Cold War. That is what still gives hope to the free world. And if we can revive that dream over group identity and victimhood and grievance, then nobody in the world, not a nation, not a corporation, not a virus, not China, is going to defeat us. That is what American exceptionalism is all about. And that is what we will revive this November when we send Donald J. Trump back to the White House. Thank you all. God bless you and your families. And may God bless our United States of America. Thank you. Thank you.
Guy can give a speech, man.
Yeah, he can. Yes, he can.
272-9228. And again, I think J.D. Vance is giving his debut tonight.
Okay.
I suspect that Twitter thread we read of J.D.'s, similar theme.
Let me ask you, so Trump's got to be there every night?
He doesn't have to be there.
Gotta be there every night?
But some folks are noticing that as he was leaving last night, the live band there at the convention started playing "Can You Take Me Higher" Higher by Creed. And of course, there's been a resurgence with Creed. I don't know what the deal is there.
You nerds. It's all good.
No, that was very much middle school, high school for me.
Sure.
I remember those guys.
It was good music. There's no doubt. Had its moments.
Well, yeah, and it's weird how in my generation, the music that you hold on to, like everybody I think knows Goldfinger Superman because they played Tony Hawk on N64.
Yeah.
Like they're the Jet, Do You Want to Be My Girl, I think was on one of the Madden video games.
But I remember the look on Justin's face when he was young and Dad was rocking out to one of his favorite tunes. That killed it right there.
That's just not cool.
He's just like,
man.
we got to find something else to listen to. Yeah. I get it.
I still love my dad's like lesbian rock phase.
Oh,
I
yeah?
just listen to a lot of Melissa Etheridge.
Dude, it was good for a bit there, dude.
I just found
she
it
was
funny.
good.
Knowing
Come to
him,
my window, come on.
like I wouldn't have suspected it.
Joan Jett.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lita Ford.
Lita Ford.
Oh, man. Yeah.
You like Blondie?
Blondie was pretty good.
I like Blondie. I got that album, Parallel Lines.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty solid. No, it's solid. Pretty sound stuff.
Yeah, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was good.
Hey, should we hit a break?
I'm ready if you are.
First, this part of the program, in fact, the entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon, who we saw yesterday.
I saw yesterday and I saw the video last night. It's always great to see her.
Well, she and Kim can help you whether you're looking to buy or refinance.
That's right.
That current home. And, of course, they're just great local folks to work with.
Some of the best.
It's a common theme with a lot of our sponsors. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. People are asking about rates. This is what we talked about with Madeline yesterday. Like, when will they come down? And yeah, it's good to be hopeful, but you probably don't want to wait too long.
You really don't. In so many situations, if the rates do drastically go down all of a sudden, well, usually housing prices goes back up. It's kind of a seesaw deal. You got to worry about your economy. You're tired of paying rent. You're tired of giving your landlord 100% interest. Time to buy a house. Call them up. They'll talk you through the process from beginning to end. Some of the best people I know, Joey.
Absolutely. And again, whether you're looking to purchase or you're looking to refinance, you got to go with Alabama Home Mortgage. That number, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Like Kim and Madeline proved that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hey, y'all, Lewis at the Capital Oyster Bar. We're over here on that beautiful Alabama River. If you hadn't ever been here, y'all, we're easy to get to. Get on I-65, take that North Boulevard exit. Then you're going to take the first exit. That's Louisville Street. Hit the bottom of the ramp, turn right, turn right, turn right. That's 3 times. Follow it to the end of the road. You get down here, you pass the RV park. That's right. We got a place you can come down here and spend a little time with us. We also come on down here to the river. We got pontoon boat rentals. We rent out pontoon boats. All you need is a driver's license, credit card. A little common sense helps. And if you don't have some common sense, bring one of your friends with you. Anyway, let's talk about some good eating. We got a fryer, a steamer, and a grill. That's right. We got some good eating. We can cook it any way you like it. Got a good old ribeye, a pot of gumbo. Got those royal red shrimp. Those shrimp from Argentina. Tastes kind of like a lobster. Then we got Sunday afternoons. This Sunday, 4 o'clock showtime from New Orleans. Eric Johansson's in town. It's going to be a great guitar show. Get down here soon. Come hungry. Bring a crew with you. 4 o'clock showtime Sunday.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group and an update on the real estate market in the River region. Sales of homes for the last 5 months will top 1,900 homes. Even though sales are slightly lower, the average sales price is still climbing. First-home homebuyers comprise over 34% of all sales, with no slowdown in sight for them. We now have more homes on the market in all price ranges, which gives buyers more choices than they've had in over 2 years. Some helpful suggestions for today's homebuyer would be: 1. Work with a local lender for your loan approval. 2. List 3 must-haves for your new home and seek to find properties to match your needs. 3. Work with an experienced and knowledgeable real estate agent to help you with your search, your showings, and receive advice on offers and negotiations. 4. Always use a licensed recommended home inspector when you find the home you choose. For all the details, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
Prattville Carpet is a family-owned flooring store that prides itself on personal service, quality products, and guaranteed installation. From beautiful hardwood floors to luxurious smart strand carpet, Prattville Carpet has you covered. Call, come by, or online at prattvillecarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now let's go right to the phones and talk to Michael Cohen from Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are y'all?
We're doing all right. I mean, other than we want answers about what happened on Saturday, and it's not getting any better.
Well, I did notice that Joe Biden took at least 22 seconds before he started bashing the Republicans again.
Right. I saw that in NAACP speech. Really, we need to bring down the temperature. Anyway, these extremists are.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, man. But let's think about happier things. Let's think about what y'all do there at Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. And one great thing y'all do is the service. I mean, fantastic products. But if folks are buying a big ticket item, say like a brand new refrigerator or washer dryer, y'all have a team that can come and deliver it and install, right?
That's right. The cool thing about what we do is we do have our own people that are going to sell it to you. We have our own people that are going to deliver it to you. Our people do the installation, and we also can do the service. So it's kind of a soup to nuts deal where you've got one group of people that is responsible for your whatever you bought, whether it's electronics or appliances, and you've got one group of people to call if anything goes awry.
There you go. And you can, of course, help folks on the right product selection, too, there in the store, especially something like a washing machine. Folks don't necessarily need to go, just give me the cheapest thing. Like,
don't want that.
You want a quality thing that's going to last.
You know, yeah, we had a customer a couple weeks ago that he had diagnosed that we needed a ice maker for his refrigerator and some other part, maybe the auger. So anyway, we go up there to do that, and we find out that he doesn't need that. What he needs is a reservoir, which is what holds the water before, I guess, it goes into the trays to get frozen. So, you know, instead of selling him $300 or $400 worth of stuff, you know, he ends up getting off with a $65 reservoir and a little bit of labor, and then he's good. But, you know, my people aren't trying to sell you everything to go in the unit. They just want to sell you what you need. Kind of like when you come in here to buy a new product, we want to sell you what you need instead of what costs more or whatever. We want to help you make the right choice.
There you go. And, well, the proof is in the many generations that have bought from Cohen's. 65 plus years, folks. So you can always shop from home at, thinkcohens.com. But I really encourage you to stop by the Boulevard, 2515 Eastern Boulevard, right here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And be sure to find one of the team members there or find Michael himself and be like, hey, I heard you on the radio with Joey and Eddie.
That's right. That's right. Come see us. We want to take care of you. We want to help you with your purchase, and then we want to take care of you after the sale.
Well, appreciate it as always,
Thank you, Michael.
Thank y'all. Take care.
See you, buddy.
Let's hit this top of the hour break.
Right.
When we come back, we might watch a little bit of Ronnie D, what he did last night. Because, we cover these folks so much during the primaries. Let's hear out Ron DeSantis.
Okay.
Maybe we'll go to Nikki Haley. I don't think I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Because it's my show.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance is the headliner tonight at the Republican National Convention. Vance will not only be addressing the party faithful in Wisconsin, but introducing himself to the country. His speech comes on day 3 of the convention, which is focused on foreign policy and national security. The Republican chairman of the House Oversight and Accountability Committee has issued a subpoena to Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle, compelling her to appear before the committee on Monday for what is scheduled to be the first congressional hearing into the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump last Saturday. At Wall Street, the Dow is ahead 237 points, but the NASDAQ is losing 466 points. This is SRN News.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-529-2856. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-529-2856. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-529-2856. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-529-2856. 800-529-2856 or biglou.com.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas weather.
Hi, everybody. The dog days of summer rolls on. There'll be more triple-digit heat indices and more random storms. I think we'll be in the mid-90s again today with those triple-digit heat indices, but the number of storms will be a little bit more numerous on the radar. Still feast or famine, hit or miss. Tonight's low 74, tomorrow's high in the low to mid-90s. And on Thursday and Friday and Saturday, the number of pop-up storms will be more numerous. Still random, but the radar will be quite active, with lower 90s each day. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
1819 News.
New policies involving the Alabama Public Library Service as well as public libraries throughout the state is now officially part of the state administrative code. The APLS board voted this past May to approve recommendations coming from Governor Ivey that restore more parental rights and provide more safety around the sexually explicit books being put in children's sections of these public libraries. Now the new policies are codified within the administrative rules. There will now be library cards created for those under the age of 18 that require parental approval before certain library materials can be checked out. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Schaefer with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
So who's telling the truth in this case? Those who were planning a drag queen story hour at the Oyster City Brewing in Mobile say they had to cancel due to severe threats that were made to them. The claims of threats being made came after a TikTok influencer here in Alabama, Mama Tot, decided that she would no longer participate in the drag queen book reading. Organizers then started to claim that right-wing extremists were making threats against them, and that's why they canceled. However, 1819 News reporter Erica Thomas called the Mobile Police Department, only to find that no one from the Oyster City Brewing, Books A Million, or the LGBTQ organizers bothered to show those threats to police or to file an official complaint. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
If you need to rent equipment, you need it fast. You need it to be right, and you need it to be easy. In other words, you need Thompson Rents. We know exactly what you need because we live and work where you do. Our business is homegrown and local, just like yours. Since 1957, Thompson has been with you every step of the way, with equipment to rent or buy that fits your needs and your budget. Today, we've got it all, like Cat compact equipment to rent or buy, including skid steers, backhoes, and mini excavators. Plus, allied brands like Genie, Toro, Almond, and Finn, with pumps, aerial lifts, carry deck cranes, light towers, and more. All backed by people you probably not only know and like, but who you can absolutely trust. So visit ThompsonRents.com for more details or the location near you. Thompson Rents. We're here for you.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon, or as we're calling this thing online, Joey Clark Live. You can always watch the show. Watch the clips with us. See Eddie's face. A little pale over here. Yeah, you are a little overexposed in terms of the lighting.
Thought I was getting darker, but you kind of pale ale.
Yeah, maybe we need to adjust the
Nah,
camera or
nah,
whatever. You don't care?
Nah.
Yeah. Let's go to Randall. Hey, Randall, how you doing?
Oh, man, I'm good, man. I just don't like talking this slow, and a lot of times it seems I'm reaching for words that ain't there, and it makes me sound stupid as you know what. So, but since you were doing it, I didn't know if how you. I mean, I know you've probably seen it, but Daniel Rose, you know how you Amber Rose. I didn't know how you felt about her.
We played it yesterday, and I thought her speech and message was pretty good.
I guess I missed it, man. I'm sorry.
What do you think, Randall? Tell me your thoughts on it.
I didn't see it, so I heard it through the car sound, and it felt fake. I mean, that's why I was gonna ask y'all. Since you've seen it, that'd be even better. But I know Eddie's probably getting that because I didn't see it. It was just I was told that it was a good one and listened to it.
No, I think they're real.
Okay.
I mean, she was real. I
think she was. To me, she sounded legit. Because mainly the way she said she went looking to prove her dad wrong. And
right.
As you know, I can see where all of us kids rebel, and hey, I got a chance to prove my dad wrong.
Well, and the problem with a lot of these conventions, Randall, to your point, is the setting seems fake. It's like watching an award show. It's like it's the same sort of vibe.
I see that, yeah.
But no, I thought her message was pretty straightforward and a good one. A lot of folks who aren't normally conservative probably need to hear.
Good deal. I'm gonna go back and watch it and listen to it for two reasons. So I'll tell you how it comes out.
Okay.
Let me know, Randall.
Yes, sir.
See you, brother.
272-9228. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by Clearwater's Property Management.
Oh, yeah.
And Reed Waters and team there at Clearwater's are ready to help you with tree removal.
Yep.
Tree trimming. And stump grinding.
I've got a client now that just sent me a report. We've got to get a tree that's kind of overhanging his house a little bit. So we're going to call him up and give him a go here because to get this house sold, the new buyers don't want this tree hanging over the house, Joey, and I don't blame them.
Right.
I don't blame them.
Right.
So this is the best time to get it fixed before you move in.
Yeah, prune it on back.
Heck yeah. I think that'll work out very well.
And it could be for safety reasons, like you're seeing big branches starting to overhang and, bad storm that's going to fall.
Right.
Could be the whole tree needs to be taken out.
Could be.
Noticing how much it sways.
You got those leaners that are just leaning over that way. But also you have a lot of times these smaller trees that just rub every time the wind blows. It just rubs your shingles. And it's just taking the asphalt right off your shingles. And also it's letting pests into your house.
And don't forget about that ugly stump.
Oh,
it's an eyesore, but it also attracts pests like termites and snakes, and it's you got to get it out.
Yeah, you don't want that. That's not a good look.
And Clearwater's Property Management can help you with all of that. Again, tree removal, tree trimming, and stump grinding. Call them today at 430-0376. That's 430-0376. And be sure to tell them that, well, Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Kelly.
Yes.
Hey, do you guys know who Matt Walsh is?
Yes.
You know, conservative Matt Walsh.
Yeah. I'm well aware who Matt is.
Are you on Twitter? Are you on X?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Have you read what he's been posting about Amber Rose?
Oh, yeah. I did like a whole hour on it yesterday. He was essentially calling her big hoe and porn star.
What do you think about him? I mean, he's like bashing her.
I disagree with Matt on this. I don't think it's necessary, and I don't think we have to give a moral lecture, even if maybe he's right, technically. Like, she needs actual redemption and change. But I don't think that's always necessary in politics. I'm not going to throw Matt Walsh overboard. I think he makes a lot of great points, and he talks a lot. He's going to say things I don't like.
Yeah.
But on this particular thing, no, I thought it was a little... Because I listened to the message Amber Rose did.
Yeah.
After I saw Matt Walsh's tweets, and I'm like, she did a pretty compelling message, and my father challenged me to go look into Trump, and now I've changed my mind. And he starts talking about her, sleeping around with everybody. And I'm like, but that just, it just...
Yeah, what's that got to do with politics?
Right.
That might have to do with her personal life and her, like you said, redemption. But it doesn't have anything to do with maybe changing someone's mind.
Right.
About what's going on in the country.
Yeah, and
Okay,
it gets to a point sometimes in the politics that everybody who's on stage at a big event for the party must exactly represent my values, and I just don't think that's the way the world works or this country works anymore.
No, not at all.
I know. I mean, it's, the purity test.
Right.
Exactly.
So, and there's only one that can give us purity. So,
and I
all
also
right, you guys
think
have a good day.
Appreciate you. Thank you. And I also think a Christian culture is more like yeast and bread, that it's slowly over time. It's salt of the earth, that other phrase you'll hear.
Mm-hmm.
It preserves the good ideas. It preserves the good and the beautiful and the true, but it's over time. You do it slowly. I think it is, unless you somehow have God wake up Constantine in a dream to change the official, religion of the Roman Empire to Christianity. But generally speaking, the goal of having this one fell swoop of a political movement that will bring about the new Christendom, I don't think you're going to get the Christendom you probably want by that approach. I think you need to slowly start with yourself, start with the family, start with your household, start with your friends and the community you build, especially in the church. And by example, you slowly grow and you hold out and welcome people into the fold over time.
Agree.
And not to get into the whole God conversation right now, I get frustrated sometimes when people go, do you believe in God? And I hear it as like, not let's have an intellectual discussion or discussion about your journey of what do you think about faith and the scriptures. It comes across more as, are you on my team?
Yep.
It comes across as political.
Yep.
And that I'm not interested.
Would you rather him ask you how's your walk going with the Lord?
That's a fair question.
I like it. I like that approach much better.
It's a
I
fair
really
question. It's all right. I'm still got a prodigal streak. I'm not out there often. Like, you saw how crazy Andrew Szymanski looked at me. He's like, you went out?
Well, Joe,
I'm trying to clean up life and do healthier things and just better things. But, yeah, and I will say that compared to where I was, say, 5-6 years ago, I think the whole idea of atheist materialism, that is sort of the waters that modernity swims in, that a lot of your scientists sort of assume this stuff, I just don't think it's true. I don't think it holds up.
Yeah.
Because you can come up with all your theories of how, say, matter and energy work in this world, but where'd your theory come from? Where in the matter and the energy that you're describing does it give you that thought? Like, there are things outside of the material. To reduce everything down to the material, I think, is just absurd. And honestly, even when I was entertaining more atheist thought, agnostic thought, and I'll still entertain folks like, I don't think Jordan Peterson, for instance, is actually your traditional Christian by any means.
No.
There's a lot of folks I respect that come from different perspectives. But it does seem that this push to reduce everything down to the material is just failed. It failed in politics. I think it's also failed in psychology. I think it's failed in the greater sciences in math and physics. Like, we've kind of reached a blind alley at this point of
some things, yeah.
Where's the latest progress on, say, reconciling the Standard Model to Einstein's theory of relativity? And we keep trying.
Yeah.
And by we, I mean like a few hundred people in all the world actually understand this stuff. But when you go look at, say, like Isaac Newton, he literally thought he was trying to understand the mind of God and the order God put into the universe as the creator. And while he wasn't doing that, he was really into alchemy.
Yep.
And so, like, the motivations of so many of your scientists that usher in the Enlightenment age are based in a profound sense of the divine and being part of it. Even the more agnostic, atheistic types at the American founding didn't go that far. When you look at Ben Franklin, when you look at Thomas Jefferson, when you even look at Thomas Paine, who's probably the most atheistic of the founders, they still are holding on to that underlying basis. And something happened, I guess, in the 1800s and the late 1800s, leading into the 20th century, where I don't think we've solved the problem. A lot of folks say, hey, we got science. We're poor and stupid and ignorant for thousands of years, and then we got science. So what good did the God stuff to us? Now that we got the science, look at all the prosperity and all this stuff. And you're like, yeah. Well, but what about like World War I and World War II? Like, what the hell was that? Like, we got all this prosperity, but also, you know, tens of millions of people die and mass carnage. And we still haven't exactly put the genie back in the bottle when it comes to things like nuclear weapons?
No.
And the idea that you've solved problems of the heart and problems of the soul is just, I think, absurd. So that's where I'm at these days. Like, I don't find the strictly scientific materialist worldview all that credible. I think it's good within a certain context. Like, hey, if we want to send a rocket to Mars, you better have some pretty good damn math and physics to back it up. You can't just pray to God.
Right.
But I would also say if you got pretty damn good math and physics, you should also pray to God when you're on that rocket to Mars. It probably doesn't hurt. And actually, it might even inspire you to go further and think, hey, maybe I can figure something out in the mind of God that is presented here in the natural world, in his creation, that allows us to go to heights never before imagined. We'll see. And, you know, maybe it's, I read too much C.S. Lewis or something, but there are moments, too, where I see, like, Vivek, and, you know, he's what, Hindu?
Yeah.
And I'm like, like, Judaism is several thousand years old, Christianity is about 2,000 years old. I think the Hindu tradition claims to be something like 40,000 years old.
I think it is.
And I have a hard time just going, yeah, they're just wrong. But some of the highest IQ people on the planet, where like some new technologies are even being created out of like archaeological finds, find like sacred art and these sorts of things. And I think it would be wise, and I'm stealing this from, of all folks, Douglas Murray. I think everybody needs a deep humility, because the technology that we create and the systems we create keep outpacing our moral sense and our sense of the divine. And so I think everybody needs to approach this from a deep sense of, let's live in the question of what exactly is going on and try to understand one another as we hold true to the faith that you're raised in. But I find converts interesting, for instance. Like, if you're raised Catholic, you're probably going to be Catholic. If you're raised in Saudi Arabia, you'll probably be a Sunni Muslim. If you're raised in other parts of Alabama, you'll probably be Southern Baptist.
There's outliers.
And then people do change, though.
Yeah, and usually you see something you just can't agree with. And you think, if this is a true belief in this faith, then I don't belong in this faith.
And back to the original point, I don't think it's something that's solved in a generation even. I don't think it's solved within 80, 100 years.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the motivation of like, let's just get this done in one fell swoop is usually, no, you need to think long-term in terms of the generations. In terms of the promise God makes to Abraham. Think that long-term.
We don't think that long-term.
Or think like the Gothic cathedrals in Europe, which are mostly empty now, sadly. Those Gothic cathedrals, the men who started those things knew maybe my great or great-great-grandchild will see this finish.
Right.
But they started it anyway. Think in those terms, not in terms of the next election. I think that's the healthier approach. Of course, the next election matters, and your faith and morals and your values bear on that, and who you think is going to be a better leader and lead you in the right direction. But you got to take what you can get, too. Who would have thought, especially if you're a evangelical Christian, you were there at the beginning with Ronald Reagan. You've been in the Republican Party for ages with the big, you know, corporate business types and your neocon foreign policy types and your evangelical conservative Christians. That was the sort of three legs of the conservative Republican stool for the longest time. That was the coalition. If you're part of that evangelical leg of the Republican Party, Would you have ever have thought that Donald Trump is going to be the guy?
Nope.
Like in 1980 something, Donald Trump's going to be the guy to appoint 3 justices and overturn Roe v. Wade?
Especially then, no.
Sometimes I think it's just wise to avoid hubris and be willing to say, on the 10,000 feet above, 10,000 feet below, on the formation of the stars in the heavens, to the depths of the ocean, we just don't know. You got to take it, I guess, on faith at a certain point. Anyway, I don't know how I even got on that. But I guess that's where I'm at these days. 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by, oh, man, I love this new sponsor. I love all our sponsors.
Oh, yeah.
But you got to love a place where you can just go eat the product.
I'm down with that. I'm so down with that.
Like all sorts of things that are, great advertisements on the show.
Mm-hmm.
From, roof repairs to tree trimming to buying and selling a home to getting your testosterone right. All important. But there's something truly enjoyable about having a great breakfast spot.
Yes, it is.
A spot where you can sit and not only eat delicious food, but start a new tradition. You know how it is in life when you're becoming an adult? And I mean by adult, you realize, oh, crap, the adults who raised me had no clue what they're doing. Then you're probably at the same point.
Yep.
And you realize, okay, you have to start making very conscious plans if you're ever going to see that person. Because how many texts in this day and age do you get where you go, oh,
we make plans,
we need to get together, right? And you just don't.
Right.
But if you start a tradition, especially if it's something like wake up early before you go to work, eat a great breakfast, do it at least once a week. And I highly recommend for that tradition, Smokehouse Pit Barbecue.
I agree.
Those cheese grits, number one, that'll make you believe in God.
Yeah, it will.
Those are so good.
So good.
Or maybe one of these days, Eddie, we got to get by there and try the Fat Boy breakfast.
We need to bring the cameras and do a challenge. Because I got a feeling I could probably take more of that breakfast down than you could.
Oh, that does sound like a challenge. Have you seen me eat lately?
Yeah, I have. That's why I feel pretty good. That way I'd have a night's rest to make room for that Fat Boy challenge.
No, I'll win. Actually, I think what's going to happen is we'll both eat it completely.
I can see that.
I think we both win.
Yep.
And it's so delicious, folks. What they have on offer there at breakfast it's a destination. Make a new tradition out of it. And, of course, they have great entertainment at night, especially as you head up to the weekend. Open bar, live music, and the food at night. They're back to the original recipes with many of the barbecue, from the pulled pork to so many, the brisket, so many other things, the fixins and trimmings that come on the side. Smokehouse Pit Barbecue is the place to be. And so stop by there at Main Street there in Millbrook. On Main Street in Millbrook. Been there since, 1989.
Yep.
So stop by and be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Hey, Eddie, you want to go to Ronnie D?
You bet.
Ron D. Santos?
Ronnie D?
Yeah, he spoke last night, and you know what? I'm a little tired of talking. So let's just go right to the tape. This is Ron DeSantis at the Republican National Convention last night.
My fellow Republicans, let's send Joe Biden back to his basement and let's send Donald Trump back to the White House. Life was more affordable when Donald Trump was president. Our border was safer under the Trump administration, and our country was respected when Donald Trump was our commander-in-chief. Joe Biden has failed this nation. As a veteran, I was appalled when 13 of our service members were killed in Afghanistan due to Joe Biden's dereliction of duty. As a citizen, as a husband, and as a father, I am alarmed that the current president of the United States lacks the capability to discharge the duties of his office. Our enemies do not confine their designs to between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. We need a commander-in-chief who can lead 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. America cannot afford 4 more years of a weekend at Bernie's presidency.
Crowd's liking that one.
But let's be honest.
Trump's liking that one.
Let's be honest here. Biden is just a figurehead. He's a tool for imposing a leftist agenda on the American people. They support open borders, allowing millions and millions of illegal aliens to pour into our country and to burden our communities, but just don't send any to Martha's Vineyard, then they get really upset. They have unleashed progressive prosecutors across our nation who care more about coddling criminals than about protecting their own communities. They use the unelected bureaucracy to impose their will on us without our consent, and they weaponize political power to target their political opponents like they've done to our own nominee. They want to ban gas automobiles, eliminate Second Amendment rights, and impose gender ideology on everyone from our infantrymen to kindergartners. They stand for DEI, which really means division, exclusion, and indoctrination, and it is wrong. They mandated that you show proof of a COVID vaccine to go to a restaurant, but they oppose requiring proof of citizenship to cast a vote. They can't even define what a woman is. Now, Donald Trump stands in their way, and he stands up for America. Donald Trump has been demonized. He's been sued. He's been prosecuted, and he nearly lost his life. We cannot let him down, and we cannot let America down. It is the values of this Republican Party that reflect our nation's founding principles. We believe schools should educate, not indoctrinate. We stand for parents' rights, including universal school choice. We support law and order, not rioting and disorder. We seek a strong, focused United States military, not one distracted by a social agenda. We reject entrenched political class, and we demand term limits for members of Congress. We stand for fiscal sanity, for low taxes, and for reduced debt. We seek to reclaim the constitutional government as envisioned by our founding fathers by bringing the administrative state to heel once and for all. We believe that you must be a citizen in order to vote, and that photo ID should be required before casting a ballot.
Yeah.
We stand for strong borders and believe that our nation must have a shared civic culture, and we oppose any immigration that stands apart or in contrast to our American values. We believe in the principles articulated in the Declaration of Independence that our rights come not from the generosity of the state, but from the hand of the Almighty, including the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, none of this is easy, but it can be done. For decades, my home state saw elections determined by razor-thin margins. Today, due to bold leadership, the Democratic Party lies in ruins. The left is in retreat. Freedom reigns supreme. The woke mind virus is dead, and Florida is a solid Republican state. Now, electing Donald Trump gives us the chance to do this all across America. And we have a responsibility to step up and make it happen. We have a responsibility to preserve what George Washington called the sacred fire of liberty. This was a fire that burned in Independence Hall in 1776 when 56 men pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to establish this nation. It's a fire that burned at a cemetery in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, when our nation's first Republican president pledged this nation to a new birth of freedom. It's a fire that burned at the foot of the Berlin Wall in 1987, when our nation's 40th president stood in front of that wall and said, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." This is not a responsibility we should fear. It's a responsibility we should welcome. After all, if not us, who? And if not now, when? Let's make the 45th President of the United States the 47th President of the United States. Let's elect Republicans up and down the ballot, and let's heed the call of our party's nominee to fight, fight, fight for these United States. Thank you. God bless you. Let's win in November. Thank you so much.
Again, that was Ron DeSantis last night, and the crowd was eating up what he was selling.
Yeah.
I have to admit, as I tried to watch this at home, I'm a little like, I hate this stuff. Like, it just is, but it's the nature of the process here in this country.
That's why I just go for the Cliff Notes.
Well, because it goes into the territory of like, Eddie, you're so awesome. You're like the best, man. I know I said all those things last week about you.
Right.
You're my guy.
Right.
And it's just, there's a little bit of falsity to it.
A little bit.
Yeah, understated.
Well, a lot of those people have boots on in there. They know what they came for.
Well, again, if you missed the earlier breaking news, Adam Schiff now calling for Biden to drop out of the 2024 race. And then, of course, I think Burgum speaking tonight. Greg Abbott of Texas. I think J.D. Vance is
Greg Abbott
speaking at 6 o'clock tonight.
Greg Abbott ought to have a few good things to say.
Yeah.
Especially about the border. Glad he finally got fired up enough to do something.
Finally.
Exactly.
And then did you see, I know you'll love this, that Joe Biden called for a nationwide rent control.
Didn't see that.
An annual 5% rent cap across the U.S.
So you want me to raise it 5% now and cap it for a year? I'm down with that. I mean, the president said.
I can go up to 5%.
Well, everything else has gone up 20%. Us honest landlords haven't jacked up our rent.
Right. Rent's up 31%, they're saying, increase since 2019.
No doubt. And in some spots, and in Montgomery, I will say it's higher than that as far as it's going up. I'm surprised every day when I talk to other landlords and like, you know that place over there? Yeah. And they tell me what they're getting. They're like, you look, it was vacant for 3 days. I had 20 people apply.
Well, and we got a Peter St. Onge clip of him taking this on, and we'll hold on for a second because there's one thing I haven't gotten to all week.
Okay.
One guy, he's big on the All In podcast. He's one of the hosts there, David Sachs, and he's now all in for Donald Trump. In fact, a lot of Silicon Valley guys are now
I noticed that.
all
They're coming
in on
aboard
Donald
in a hurry.
Trump,
Yeah.
Especially after the assassination attempt.
Mm-hmm.
And so a headline came out in the Washington Post after the assassination attempt that says, Musk, other pro-Trump billionaires have helped shape shooting narrative. The right-leaning business community on X, including Elon Musk and hedge fund billionaire Bill Ackman, used their megaphones to endorse Trump and fuel storylines about Saturday's attack.
What storyline? I mean, the only storylines that I saw came from your MSNBC and your CNN. Like Trump fell.
Right.
Those are the storylines.
So David Sachs, who's named in this piece, responds. It starts with, in all caps, I know a hero when I see one. The Washington Post names me, writes David Sachs, along with Elon Musk, as one of the several businessmen who are using their quote-unquote megaphones to spread narratives about the assassination attempt on President Trump. I'm not sure what narratives they're referring to, but I know what I saw, and I know what the crowd in Butler witnessed live. As it turns out, my father-in-law lives in Pennsylvania, and he was at the rally on Saturday. When the shots rang out and Trump went down, he said pandemonium broke out around him. Everyone feared the worst. But then Trump rose, covered in his own blood. Resisting the Secret Service's efforts to whisk him away to safety, Trump raised his fist defiantly, and the crowd could see him say, fight, fight, fight. Immediately, the fear of the crowd dissipated, the chaotic uncertainty lifted, and it was replaced with steely resolve. The crowd responded back as one, USA, USA, USA. This is not a narrative. It is the truth. Trump stood defiant in the face of an assassin's bullet. There's no way to fake courage like that. It was more important for Trump to let the crowd know that he was unbowed and unbroken than to be taken to safety. Donald Trump has already been in the fight of his life for months as vindictive Democrats seek to imprison him. But on this day, he came within inches of losing it. He has risked everything for this country. It is now up to us, the American people, to show him that he does not stand alone. Let us reject the lies, the hoaxes, the hate, and the division the media has spread about this brave man and support his resounding victory in November. That's David Sachs again. And he's not alone.
No.
And it's not just the money. Like what Elon said, I'm pay $45 million a month into a super PAC on Trump's behalf.
Hope he uses me as a middleman.
But it's not just about the money. I think you also now have a talent pool that you can tap that come and
Especially
actually
Elon.
do things within the administration. Yes.
Because a lot of that stuff he was, I mean, I'll be honest, he was holding back on.
Right.
So I love the fact that he's coming full force, and Rogan too, for that matter. He's coming around.
So we'll see what happens tonight. Oh, I think that's Trump live in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee?
The big old bandage on the ear. Yeah, I guess he's just entering now. He's conducting a walkthrough of the RNC floor today. Okay. Wonder what they have in store.
I would just, if I was a vendor and I had anything to do with that right now, I'd be a little nervous. Trump's walking through. He's going to have something to say. You didn't do something exactly right.
Oh, he's talking to clearly the director of stuff, and it doesn't sound like a fun conversation.
No. Did you put that tape there? I almost tripped.
We'll see. Let's hit this break. Be right back, folks.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi there, I'm Madeline Cannon with Alabama Home Mortgage. Getting pre-approved is the first step towards home ownership. People are often scared or nervous about taking that first step, but I'll tell you, it's nothing to be scared of. At Alabama Home Mortgage, we will take the first step and every step along the way with you. Call us at 567-4223. We will gather the information needed to tell you exactly what you qualify for. After a call to Alabama Home Mortgage, you will know what price point to shop for, what down payment is required, if any, and what your monthly mortgage payment will look like. We take all the guessing out of it. Then, when you find the house you want to make your home, you are ready to make an offer. Along with your offer, you will submit your Alabama Home Mortgage pre-approval letter. This shows sellers that you've already taken the steps necessary to ensure that you qualify to purchase their home. Wait no longer. It's time to take that first step together. Call me at 567-4223 or start the process online at myalabamahomemortgage.com.
That's Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm Wiley Dempsey. I own Carter's World here in Montgomery. I've been here for over 10 years. We recently moved across town to 6383 Atlanta Highway. Without Blue Water, we wouldn't be able to be as successful as we are. They got the message out to thousands of people.
Blue Water Broadcasting is the #1 most listened to radio group in the River region. Find out how to put this reach to work for your business. Call us to find out how we can help. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Rich Thomas Weather. Hi, everybody. The dog days of summer rolls on. There'll be more triple-digit heat indices and more random storms. I think we'll be in the mid-90s again today with those triple-digit heat indices, but the number of storms will be a little bit more numerous on the radar. Still feast or famine, hit or miss. Tonight's low 74, tomorrow's high in the low to mid-90s. And on Thursday and Friday and Saturday, the number of pop-up storms will be more numerous. Still random, but the radar will be quite active, with lower 90s each day. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Have the best looking lawn in the neighborhood with help from Capital Tractor. Wet Bobo here. Don't miss our Buy a Mower, Get a Blower sale going on now. Buy any Kubota mower on our lot and get a Steel handheld blower absolutely free. Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Now, if you can't tell, folks, I'm tired of talking. So I want to go to Peter St. Onge.
Okay.
This is this nationwide rent control thing. They also called for term limits for Supreme Court justices, a new independent ethics rule thing, and it's like,
okay, I'm down with term limits. I don't think I necessarily need them on Supreme Court justices.
Right.
I've been perfectly fine with that my whole life. But the term limits now, if we're really talking.
No, term limits for Supreme Court
Right.
justices. not for members of Congress.
Well,
and it'll be the members of Congress that hold them accountable on ethical rules.
Thank you. Hypocrite much?
Yeah, well, they don't care. That's their virtue.
Right.
They say what they need to say to get you to do what they want you to do.
But it's times like these that you see the real, I hate to say it this way, but the dirty people in the party. They're poking their heads up now. Times like these, you can see who the real dirty people are. It ain't hard.
So this is part of this package of ideas. I think it's a desperation attempt by Biden and team, but let's listen to Peter St. Onge on the topic.
Biden's handlers, desperate to take the spotlight off their candidate's cognitive dumpster fire, as well as countering Trump's matrix-level heroics, announced one of their dumbest plans yet, nationwide rent control. Biden appears to be proposing a 5% cap on rents nationwide, although it's not entirely clear from his rambling announcement, where he declared, quote, "It's time, for example, if I'm reelected, we're going to make sure that rents are kept at 5% increase for corporate rents, corporate apartments, and the like, and homes are limited to 5%. I guess you had to be there." According to the Washington Post, the plan would strip tax benefits from landlords who increase rent more than 5%. So given current inflation, that would actually be just 2% after inflation. Price controls are one of the most destructive phenomena in economics, well known for centuries to cause shortages and make products crappy. In the economics lingo, they reduce both quantity and quality. Price controls in housing are particularly destructive. In left-wing utopias like New York or San Francisco, they actually worsen housing shortages and increase prices while consigning the poor to housing barely fit for humans. One survey of the American Economic Association found that fully 93% of economists agree that rent control is harmful. That is an epic level of consensus from economists who rarely agree on anything. And keep in mind, the vast majority of AEA members are actually left-wing. So why is rent control so bad? Because by taking the profit out of renting, it decimates new construction and it chases landlords out of the business. They might convert their duplex back to a single-family home. Many landlords walk away altogether. So New York, for example, has fully 47,000 abandoned residential properties. Studies in Massachusetts and California found rent control reduced rental units by between 8 and 14% in the first decade alone. In the UK, which has had rent control since 1950, the share of housing provided by private landlords dropped from 53% to just 8%. Over time, all these housing shortages can actually push prices up. So, for example, M&S Realty reports the average rent of a one-bedroom unit in rent-controlled Manhattan is $3,806. Meanwhile, what housing does exist deteriorates fast once you get rent control. After all, if the landlord's barely breaking even and there's a housing shortage, they won't keep the place up. They actually want you to leave so they can reset the rent. We've seen this for decades in New York, eye-watering rents for apartments that are falling apart with bare light bulbs, no dishwasher or garbage disposal, and wiring from the 1920s. Whatever you do, do not plug in the microwave while the TV is on. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. Nationwide rent control would never pass Congress, meaning Biden's handler's best shot is imposing it through government-owned Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, who own most mortgages in the U.S. and could, in theory, dictate terms. Thankfully, such a clear end run around Congress would likely be struck down by the Supremes in the wake of their Loper v. Raimondo decision limiting regulations. Zoning out, as Biden falls in the polls, expect more harebrained schemes from his brain trust of White House interns, scribbling out Hail Marys to bribe some new voter constituency, whether it is college students with loans or renters savaged by Washington's money printers. Okay, we'll be watching.
Always love listening in to Peter St. Onge. How many dollars would you bet? Because they're already starting the like rescheduling thing, but like, hey kids, you want some some weed?
I could see them doing this kind of action, which is what really sickens me is I can't stop them from raising taxes, but they can cap me on what I can raise my rent. So eventually I can't, like he said, you can't afford the house anymore. There's already BlackRock here that owns a huge chunk of property throughout the United States. guaranteed you this is one of their ideas. And they'll keep coming up with these things because they don't want you to own anything. They want you to have no property rights because that's the one thing they're having trouble taking away from people. They want you to own nothing, have a job, be a dummy. Right.
Eat the bugs.
Yeah. And pretend that you're living free.
Mm-hmm. One last break. Hopefully we'll have Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet on the other side.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hey guys, this is Todd Clark with River Region Contracting, your premier roofing contractor in Central Alabama. So remember the name, River Region Contracting, for all your roofing needs. We're not affiliated with any other roofing company in the River Region. We've been in the roofing business since 2005. We don't have to buy our leads, and we don't have to knock on doors when the storms come around. We have thousands of satisfied customers throughout Central Alabama. So call us at 334-356-8635. That's 334-356-8635.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The River Region's first and only News Talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Final moments of the program, and that means it's time to talk to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Emma Ruth's on a plane headed home. I don't have to deal with that cat no more.
All right. The one that bit you on the nose yesterday?
Yeah. And Angie invited her over for dinner tonight. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm still salty over the cat. No, what do you do? She's a child.
That's right.
Let them come over and eat. That's right. But, hey, I do have something else I want to talk about today besides just installing your floors or selling you floors. We are presently looking for an employee in the back room.
Okay.
That would consist of deliveries, cleaning, janitorial, just getting the guys out in the morning. And the job starts at $15 an hour.
All right.
But now you've got to have a good driver's license.
Okay.
You got to get on my insurance. And you can't have a bad back. It is what it is. It's a lot of lifting.
Right.
So if you know anybody like that, please tell them to call the store, 285-8117, and we'd be glad to sit down and talk to them.
Folks, sounds like a pretty good gig.
Yeah, full-time position.
And great folks to work for, too.
Yeah. We try to be. We try to be.
Yeah, some days
are
are
a lot of fun.
Some days are better than others.
Yeah.
Work
Some
is
days
work.
are better than others.
Right.
Absolutely.
But,
so if you know anybody like that, give us a call. If you need a floor, call us, 285-8117. We'll come back and give you that free measurement.
again, that number, 285-8117, whether you're looking for gainful employment or you're looking to have that resurface job done. Be sure to tell them also that you heard right here on the radio with Joey and Eddie.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. See you, bro.
So what did we learn today? That things still aren't adding up with the assassination
No,
attempt.
it's only getting shakier, to be quite honest.
Yes. We learned that more Democrats are calling for Biden to step down. It is kind of funny where Joe's like, I already made my decision. And like everybody's acting like he didn't already say, I'm staying in. It's like, what was that? He hadn't made a choice yet.
That's what I keep hearing.
Just said.
I keep hearing they're still talking to him.
It's kind of humorous and just sad.
Just sad. It's sad. Who wants to think, even if I was a Biden guy, who wants to think of my leader is so weak that people in his own party are asking him to leave? And especially after what happened to Trump. What happens when he says no to the wrong person?
Oh, yeah. Better be checking his food.
Right. And that's not the country you and I or any of us want to be in. That's third world. And as much as they try to drag us into a third world country, we are not a third world country.
Yeah. We also learned just recently that rent control nationwide is an idea they're throwing out there.
I'm down with that. We can raise up 5% right now and then next year again, and that's acceptable.
And also today, this went without comment, is National Hot Dog Day.
I did not know that.
Somebody, all days to walk in on Mitt Romney in his private office, don't do today.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
That man likes hot dogs way too much. So he's weird about it.
Yeah.
Do you like a good dog?
I do. I really do.
What, do you like the all beef ones? Like the big old, like...
Yeah, I'm a beef guy. All beef hot dog guy. But at the end of the day, I don't remember who makes them, but they're red as they can be, and they're probably the cheapest hot dogs you could buy. But that's what we used to put on the grill in my 20s. And man, that was
I
good.
can get down on some Nathans for
That
sure.
and some Beast. That was good.
Oh, Beast?
Yeah. Old Milwaukee.
Ballpark?
Old Milwaukee.
Old Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Mm.
The Beast.
Yeah, and I think like Costco, Sam sell the all beef prime.
Yes.
And those.
And they got the fat ones.
Hey, and here's a recommendation because they're now selling the stuff at Publix all over the place.
Yeah.
Cook those hot dogs in Wagyu fat.
Ooh, Joey. Really?
It's quite good. How do you think I got fat? I know things.
That's a good thing to know. I got to be honest. That's pretty good to know. Huh.
It's also good on popcorn, the Wagyu fat.
I can't see it on the popcorn. Not only because I'm just ignorant to how it tastes.
It's good.
The idea of it in the hot dog that's got my attention.
Yeah, there's almost like a slight sweetness to it with the savory. It's weird. It's very good though.
It sounds delicious. And now I'm going to have me a hot dog today. There's no doubt.
So you watching the convention tonight?
I'll give it the clicks now and again, but
you don't watch Babes like Martha McCallum?
No, doesn't do it for me.
She doesn't do it for you? She's smoking hot. She's fireworks on the 4th.
Behind the scenes, she's not somebody I think you want.
No, you tune in for Britt Hume. You like the old and crusty type.
That's
yeah.
my guy.
Okay. All right. I think Britt's at the age, Britt Hume, of like, what the hell is happening in the
He's
country?
pretty close, dude. He's, yeah.
I think he had a good run there for a long time.
Oh, he had a great run, but that's the thing with some people, Joey. They don't know when to hang it up.
Yeah.
Please don't ever let me be that guy.
Well, I knowing you'll always find something else. It's like, what's Eddie up to these days? He moved from Alabama. I lost touch with him. He's running a snorkeling.
That's the ultimate goal.
Shop in Jamaica.
When I'm there and you hear that I'm there, then you go, oh, he's at his pinnacle. That's where he always wanted to be.
It's all downhill from the snorkel. Y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg Vidal. He's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's